thank you all so much for showing up and for joining. I apologize for the delay. The president and I were watching the press conference about the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, which is just a heartbreaking situation. The president, as you all know, spoke directly with Savannah yesterday and told her that the federal government is here to help. Any requests that are made by state and local officials in the search of Miss Guthrie will absolutely be accommodated. I spoke with the FBI directly about that today as well. And our hearts and our prayers are with Savannah and her entire family as they search for her dear mother. I also have a quick scheduling announcement for all of you. Tonight at 7 p.m. during prime time, President Trump, Dr. Oz, and National Design Studio Director Joe Gebbia will officially unveil Trump RX, a state-of-the-art website for American consumers to purchase low-cost prescription drugs. This historic announcement will save millions of Americans their hard-earned money. So make sure to tune in tonight, and we will see all of you in the news media there. President Trump promised to restore law and order to the United States of America, and newly released data proves he is delivering overwhelmingly on this promise. A study from the Council on Criminal Justice shows that the murder rate across America's largest cities plummeted in 2025 to its lowest level since at least 1900. Again, let me repeat, to put this in perspective, this marks the largest single-year drop in murders in recorded history. This dramatic decline is what happens when a president secures the border, fully mobilizes federal law enforcement to arrest violent criminals, and aggressively deports the worst of the worst illegal aliens from our country. The numbers don't lie. Under President Trump in 2025, the FBI increased violent crime arrests by 100% compared to the prior year. The FBI also conducted more than 67,000 arrests from Inauguration Day 2025 to January 20th, 2026, which is 197% more arrests than the same period previously. The FBI also disrupted 1,800 gangs and criminal enterprises, a 210% increase from the year prior. The FBI has arrested 1,700 child predators and more than 300 human traffickers across the country. Since President Trump took office, 6 of the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives have been captured. Right here in our nation's capital, where you all live, so you know it well, whether you choose to report it or not, the president's efforts to make DC safe and beautiful have worked. As of last week, DC homicides were down 62%, motor vehicle theft down 53%, and 2025 had the fewest violent gun crimes of any year of available data in our nation's capital. For more proof that these tough on crime efforts are working, look at the president's Make Memphis Safe Again campaign. As of last week, there have been nearly 5,600 arrests made, and aggravated assaults are down 53%. Sexual assaults are down 53%, and robberies are down 70%. Again, that's just in the city of Memphis. 5,600 arrests have taken place because of this president and his Homeland Security Task Force that has surged into Memphis at the request of both the governor and the mayor in that city, a Democrat mayor, I will add. These are the results that can happen when Democrats and Republicans, when the federal government and state and local officials work together. And that's what Trump wants to see to improve public safety across our country. When you have a leader like President Trump who empowers good cops to be cops and to arrest bad criminals, American communities will become safer. Many of the media outlets in this room have expressed shock and confusion at these remarkable statistics. The New York Times declared that, quote, "No one knows for sure what's behind the staggering drop in the murder rate. The reason is very clear. It is President Trump's leadership and his unwavering commitment to law and order. The drop in crime is more proof that all that is required to improve public safety on our streets is a leader with the will to do what is necessary to protect law-abiding American citizens. The terror and chaos that was unleashed under Democrat rule is a choice. It's a choice to put violent criminals ahead of innocent Americans, a choice to force us all to live in fear because of soft on crime, liberal politicians, prosecutors, and judges who lack the basic willingness to do their jobs and put dangerous people behind bars. On November 5th, 2024, the American people made a resounding choice that they've had enough of that, and that's precisely why they reelected President Trump. So even as Democrats and the liberal media are engaged in hysteria about this administration arresting and deporting violent, criminal, illegal aliens, the undeniable truth is that deporting these individuals is one of the primary reasons why America's streets are safer today than they were 1 year ago when President Trump assumed office. Former President Biden and the Democrats left our borders wide open, and President Trump and the brave men and women of ICE are removing these dangerous criminals. So here are just a few recent examples. Number one, a Venezuelan national and active Tren de Aragua gang member with a rap sheet including homicide, assault, child cruelty, domestic violence, and property damage. This is an individual I can assure you not a single one of you in this room would want in your neighborhood, whether you admit it or not. He entered the U.S. in 2022, and he was released into our country by the Biden administration. He is no longer here, thanks to President Trump. An El Salvadorian national and known MS-13 associate, previously convicted of homicide, conspiracy to commit homicide, and kidnapping, arrested for arson, battery, armed carjacking, and assault. He entered illegally in 2016, was released by the Obama administration, and ICE just arrested him on January 8th, 2026. This example shows you how many criminal illegal aliens have been roaming American streets freely because of a lack of attention to this matter from the previous administration, and President Trump is cleaning up their mess. A Cuban national and blood gangs member convicted of multiple homicides and robbery. ICE arrested him on October 27th and removed him on January 6th, 2026. Arresting and deporting these types of illegal criminals is precisely what the American people voted for. And despite desperate recent attempts by Democrats and those in the media to undermine the president's deportation agenda, these efforts are failing. Brand new Harvard-Harris polling shows overwhelming support for President Trump's efforts to protect law-abiding citizens from criminal illegal aliens. Nearly 8 in 10 Americans say criminal illegal aliens should be deported. A solid majority also support deporting all illegal aliens, regardless of additional crimes. And more than 2 in 3 Americans back the Trump administration's common sense requirement that state and local officials cooperate with federal authorities and work to hand over criminal illegal aliens in local jails for swift deportation. Finally, to prevent another invasion of millions of illegal aliens from happening again, President Trump and Secretary Noem delivered the most secure border in American history. 0 illegal aliens were released into our homeland over the past 9 months. This is a truly remarkable achievement. Again, 0 illegal aliens released into the country in 9 months. This is staggering, and it deserves more attention from all of you. Overall, Customs and Border Protection recorded the lowest total encounters in agency history. Daily encounters have fallen by 95%, averaging just 250 apprehensions at the southern border a day. This is compared to over 5,100 daily apprehensions during the Biden years. It's a night and day difference because we finally have a president who enforces the law and lets our law enforcement do their noble jobs of protecting our homeland. When President Trump campaigned on making America safe again, this is exactly what he meant, and the numbers and the results speak for themselves. With that, I will open it up to questions today. We're going to start with Daniel Baldwin from One America News, who is here religiously covering the White House beat every day. So it's good to see you in a chair instead of standing up today, Daniel. Thanks for being here, and why don't you kick us off?
Thank you, Caroline. It's an honor and a privilege to represent One America News in the new media seat. First question on that DHS funding bill. Funding runs out in the better part of 8 days or so. Democrats, at least verbally, are very dug in. What does the White House believe their end goal is when it comes to this funding fight, when it comes to immigration policy at large? What is their end goal when they're dug in a position like this at this point in time?
Well, the president has 2 end goals. One is to obviously keep the government funded and open, and that includes the Department of Homeland Security, which does not just touch upon ICE and Border Patrol, but also FEMA, the United States Coast Guard, the United States Secret Service. These are brave public servants who work to protect our homeland. The president wants these individuals to get paid. Secondly, when it comes to any discussions about immigration policy, the president is never going to waver in his commitment to allow immigration enforcement efforts in this country and to support ICE and Border Patrol and the deportation of illegal alien criminals. I know Senator Schumer and Leader Guthrie sent over a very long list of demands, some of which the administration is willing to discuss. Others don't seem like they are grounded in any common sense, and they are non-starters for this administration. But we're not going to negotiate policy from the podium. I'm going to allow the president to do that, and any final decisions that are made will be made ultimately by him. But rest assured, he is never going to allow law enforcement in the jobs that they do, the important jobs that they do, to be undermined.
And secondly, Caroline, the Department of Homeland Security put out a tweet a better part of an hour ago alleging that an illegal alien was involved in a major car wreck in Indiana, killing 4 people, and they allege that the suspect in question came in under the CBP-1 app under the Biden administration and received a commercial driver's license from the state of Pennsylvania. What is the White House's reaction to a situation like this? And what is the White House doing to crack down on cases like this where illegal aliens are obtaining commercial driver's licenses?
Yes, this is another abhorrent example of the border crisis over the past 4 years. And it again exemplifies why the administration must continue and will always continue to fully back and support ICE and Border Patrol and law enforcement in their removal of illegal alien criminals from our country. For those who don't know, and all of you should report on it, 4 Americans were tragically killed and lost their lives this week yet again from an illegal alien, an individual who was paroled into the country by the Biden administration using the CBP-1 app, which they created like it was a magic pass for Disneyland. That's not how immigration in this country should work. And this illegal alien from Kyrgyzstan was traveling on an Indiana highway, and he failed to brake for a slowed semi-truck in front of him. He swerved into the lane and he crashed into a van carrying 15 passengers, and 4 people were killed in that crash. This is another tragedy that could have been prevented if not for the wide open borders from the previous administration. That's why we now have a secure border. That's why this administration will continue to deport illegal aliens from our country. Thank you for being here. Garrett.
John, thank you for your comments and your prayers for the Guthrie family. I have 2 questions related to the president's interview with NBC yesterday.
Sure.
At one point in the interview, the president said that he believes states are accumulating the votes for who wins the election. He says if they, meaning the states, can't do it honestly and can't be done properly and timely, then something else has to happen. What did he mean by that? Is he suggesting that the federal government count votes in elections?
What the president is suggesting, and I just spoke to him about this, is that Republicans and Democrats in Congress should pass the Save America Act. This piece of legislation is going to ensure that states are abiding by federal election law by removing non-citizens from their voter rolls. In addition, the Save America Act will require voter ID to vote, and it will require proof of citizenship to register to vote. These are very common sense policies and proposals that 89% of our country agree with. So that's what the president is talking about. Again, I just spoke with him about this, and he's calling on both Republicans and Democrats to send the Save America Act, to pass it into law and to send it to his desk as quickly as possible.
To be clear, the SAVE Act doesn't say anything about who counts votes, which has always been a state, a local, a county function. Why does he keep talking about somebody else, presumably the federal government, counting votes?
Because the SAVE Act directs states to remove non-citizens from their voter rolls. And we know in states across the country, the president is right to point this out. In states like California or in places like New York City, non-citizens are allowed to vote in state and local elections. And the federal government should absolutely do away with that. I don't think a single person in this room, if you really are being honest with yourselves, should agree that non-citizens should vote in American elections, no matter where that election is up and down the ticket. And so this is a piece of federal legislation that will help states ensure the integrity and the sanctity of their elections. And that's what the president wants. Peter.
Thanks, Caroline. President Trump posted about Nancy Guthrie that he is directing all federal law enforcement to be at the families and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. What should we expect to see from the federal government in coming days in the search to find Nancy Guthrie?
It's a very good question, Peter, and it's why I was on the phone with the FBI earlier this morning to ask that. And what they told me is that the FBI, again, is at the disposal of the state and local government. Whatever personnel or assets or resources that the state and local authorities and police need will be granted to them at the direction of the president, the FBI director, and the attorney general.
A different law enforcement issue. The FBI just found 1,000 samples inside an illegal biolab in Las Vegas. It is linked to a different biolab that was previously raided. There are ties to China. What does the president think the CCP might be up to here?
I haven't spoken to him about this specific investigation from the FBI, but I'm happy to, and I'm sure he's very glad that this is something the FBI discovered, and we'll make sure anyone who is involved in illegal activity will be held accountable.
And just one more about this weekend. At the Mar-a-Lago Super Bowl party, after the first two quarters, are the TVs going to be on the halftime show with Bad Bunny or the halftime show with Kid Rock?
I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny. I must say that. Jennifer.
On the nuclear arms pact, we saw the president's post on that.
Yes.
But can you say, is there a temporary agreement with Russia to stand by the terms of the New START treaty while negotiations are happening?
Not to my knowledge. Again, to your point, Jennifer, I just do want to reiterate exactly what the president said. He wrote just moments ago, the United States is the most powerful country in the world. I completely rebuilt its military in my first term, including new and many refurbished nuclear weapons. I also added Space Force and now continue to rebuild our military at levels never seen before. We are even adding battleships, which are 100 times more powerful than the ones that roamed the seas during World War II, the Iowa, Missouri, Alabama, and others. I have stopped nuclear wars from breaking out across the world between Pakistan and India, Iran and Israel, and Russia and Ukraine, rather than extend New START, a badly negotiated deal by the United States, which I will add was renegotiated under former President Barack Obama. Aside from everything else, is being grossly violated. The president wants to have our nuclear experts work on a new, improved, and modernized treaty that can last long into the future. And that's what the United States will continue to discuss with the Russians. Lisa.
Thank you, Caroline.
Sure.
Did President Trump himself ever ask DNI Gabbard to head down to Fulton County, Georgia?
The president was asked and answered that question just yesterday. I've seen a lot of the media in this room get very caught up with the semantics of why Tulsi Gabbard is there. I will tell you why, and the president agrees with this, because election security is essential to national security. And as the director of national intelligence, it is a part of Ms. Gabbard's role to make sure that American elections are free of foreign interference and that American elections are safe and secure. And so the ODNI director is working with the FBI on this effort, and the president wholeheartedly supports both Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard in ensuring that American elections are safe, are secure, and are free of foreign intervention.
Is there any
Michael,
indication that
Thank
there's
you,
foreign
Caroline.
influence?
Federal law enforcement's involvement in the search.
Well,
for
excuse me one second. It's the media who has said that there's Russian interference in American elections. You guys have been saying that for many, many years. So the people
in Fulton
Well,
County.
the people in this room, considering that you all said for many years that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help Donald Trump, you should all be very happy that we finally have an administration that is looking into that, and we'll be happy to keep you posted. Michael.
Thanks, Caroline. With the FBI's involvement in the search for Nancy Guthrie, now has this search expanded nationwide outside of Arizona? And given Pima County's proximity to Mexico, is this now an international search?
Well, Michael, that would be a question for state and local authorities as they continue to oversee the investigation at this time. Again, the federal government and the FBI have offered any and all resources, but the state and local authorities are still leading the investigation. So I would direct you to them. I'm certainly not in a position to talk about it.
One other question, Caroline.
Sure.
Friday's talks with Iran, they were originally supposed to take place in Turkey. They've now been moved to Oman. Can you tell us the reason for that move?
Look, the president, diplomacy is always his first option when it comes to dealing with countries all around the world, whether it's our allies or our adversaries. And so Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be traveling to Oman for those talks tomorrow, and we will see what comes of those. The president is standing by for an update from them. Sure, in the pink.
Thank you, Caroline. Cuban leader Miguel Diaz-Canel said today that Cuba would be willing to engage in dialogue with the United States only without pressure, without preconditions, on equal footing, and with respect for sovereignty. But his government is denying what President Trump said, that they're all already holding talks. How would you respond to that?
I think the fact that the Cuban government is on its last leg and its country is about to collapse, they should be wise in their statements directed towards the president of the United States. But as I just reiterated, the president is always willing to engage in diplomacy, and I believe that's something that is taking place, in fact, with the Cuban government.
Yeah, thank you, Caroline. So the Office of Personnel Management released a final rule today that makes it easier to fire government employees who are not doing their job, basically. Does the president believe that there are people in his government still that are not following his agenda?
That's a good question. I have not asked him about that. I mean, look, it's a very big government, right? There are thousands of people who work for the federal government here in Washington, D.C. This administration has been very much focused on ensuring that we have an efficient and productive workforce for the American taxpayer. There's not a day that goes by where we don't show up and realize we are public servants working on behalf of the American people, and everybody in the federal government best have that mindset, or they won't be welcome to work for this administration. So I think it's a good thing that the Office of Personnel Management put this rule out. I think if people aren't doing their jobs, if they aren't showing up for work, if they're not working hard on behalf of this president, they're not welcome to work for him at all.
The New York City mayor is dealing with a $12 billion budget deficit. If he texted President Trump, would the president bail him out?
I'll leave that answer to the president himself, Ed.
Kristen, go ahead. One more follow-up on Gabbard. You said that the president supports the fact that she was there, but last night when he was asked about it, he said he didn't know why she was there. He didn't say that he directed her. Can you clarify on that? Did she go by herself and he learned later and supports it?
Well, did you look at the full entirety of his response? I was in the room for that NBC interview, Kristen, and he just said exactly what I told you, which is that election security is essential to national security. We need to ensure that our elections are free and are fair and are free of foreign interference. And he spoke about how Ms. Tulsi Gabbard is involved in that effort. So you're taking like the first three words that he said to one question and not looking at his entire response.
On what you said about foreign interference, you talked about 2016 and Russian interference, but what we've learned from these Georgia officials is what was seized by the FBI were ballots from 2020 in this Fulton County election center. Do you have any evidence that there was international interference in the 2020 election in this election center?
What I do have evidence of, and what the media seems to be undermining, is why Tulsi Gabbard is there in the first place. And I would point you again to federal law that clearly assigns the DNI and the office with the statutory responsibility to lead counter intel matters related to election security. This includes assessing risks to election voting systems, software, voter registration databases, and more, and analyzing foreign interference. And the ODNI is responsible for supporting the White House interagency action to secure our elections through intel analysis and vulnerability assessments. And they should be routinely collaborating with agencies like the DHS, the DOJ, and the FBI. So as for that question, it would be better suited to ask the Director of National Intelligence herself in her office. But what I'm telling you is that it is more than appropriate. In fact, it is Tulsi Gabbard's job to ensure that our elections are safe and secure. And that's exactly what she's been doing on the ground in Georgia. And I don't understand why anyone in this room, considering you're all American citizens, I believe, and like to vote in our nation's elections, should have any problem with that whatsoever. Now,
Thank you, Caroline. The president said that the administration should take a softer approach on immigration enforcement. He's also suggested for months that some migrant workers should be spared from these raids based on what they're doing. Is the administration going to continue to conduct large worksite raids as it seeks to target violent criminals? And can you clarify, is the federal government going to continue doing these deportation operations in blue cities where authorities say they don't want them?
Well, first, again, to the president's answer yesterday, the full context of his answer was that he'd like to see a softer touch, but we are always going to remain tough. That softer touch the president is referring to is that cooperation that is necessary between state and local authorities and federal government authorities to ensure that we can continue deporting illegal aliens from our communities without tons of agents having to go after one illegal alien. If the states and the local governments just turn over their illegal aliens to ICE at jails, as they should be doing, it requires one agent to deport that one illegal alien who can then go on their way to their home country in a peaceful manner. The escalation that we've seen take place in Minnesota is a direct result of the refusal of state and local officials to cooperate with the federal government and with ICE, which has led to these hostile and dangerous environments. And so we don't want that. Again, the president wants direct cooperation, and that's what he was referring to. As for worksite raids, I don't broadcast any future action that may or may not happen from the Department of Homeland Security. But again, the president's focus and the administration's focus is on targeting illegal alien criminals, especially those who have committed heinous crimes in our country, as evidenced by the few illegal aliens that I just shared with you here today.
Will ICE and Border Patrol avoid going to other blue cities where the local officials are saying, we won't work with you, we don't want you here?
Well, first of all, those local officials should be wanting to work with ICE. Why would any official, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, want murderers and predators in your city? It makes zero sense. It's an untenable position. The only reason Democrats are taking that position now is because their entire party platform is just anti-Trump. It makes no sense for the American people. They should be calling this White House. They should be calling Secretary Noem. They should be calling Tom Homan, and they should be saying, we want to work with you to remove the worst of the worst criminals from our city. Please come here. So yes, ICE is going to continue to do their job in cities and communities across the country, but it certainly makes it much easier when we have that level of cooperation and corroboration at the state and local level. In places like Florida, where there has been the arrest of thousands, tens of thousands of illegal alien criminals. None of you talk about that, or none of you hear about that, because these operations are going seamlessly and peacefully. Why? Because there is an intimate cooperation between the state government and the federal government. And that's what the president wants to see in all 50 states. And the whites, yes.
Hi, thank you, Caroline. Over the weekend, President Trump said that he was giving a serious look at endorsing in the Texas Republican Senate primary. We know that Minnesota and Georgia also have competitive, crowded primaries. Is he giving those races a serious look as well?
Well, I'm not allowed to speak from the podium on any future political endorsements the president may or may not make, but I know that he is watching all of these races across the country quite carefully. I won't get ahead of him on any potential endorsements.
John. Thanks a lot, Caroline. Two questions for you about the continuing resolution that the president signed for the Department of Homeland Security. What would be the repercussions for all of the agencies under DHS if no agreement is reached on funding when that deadline approaches next Friday?
Well, there will be grave repercussions for all of those agencies, but more importantly, frankly, for the American people who those agencies serve. And that's exactly what the president and the White House want to avoid. Again, we want to keep the government funded. We want the Department of Homeland Security, of course, to be up and operationalized and continuing as necessary to protect our homeland, to secure our border, to ensure the brave men and women of the United States Coast Guard are getting paid, the brave men and women of the United States Secret Service who protect the president, the vice president, and frankly, all of you in this building every day continue to receive the paychecks that they so well deserve. And so that's why the White House will engage in these talks with Democrats. But again, the president is never going to cave on this administration's core promise to deport illegal aliens from our country.
You said, Caroline, in your statement that there are certain proposals that Democrats are putting up that are non-starters. What are some of those non-starters?
There are a few, and it's a very good question, but I won't negotiate from the podium. I know the White House will be engaged in direct, serious talks with Democrats on this important matter. Natalie.
Thank you. In addition to launching Trump RX tonight, Trump has said that he wants to meet with insurance companies to lower healthcare costs. Do you have any update on when those meetings?
Yes, he does want to meet with insurance companies. That meeting will take place. I don't have an update on when it will be on the schedule, but the purpose of that meeting will be to continue to negotiate with these companies to ensure that more money is going back to the American consumer. And you're all going to see that on full display tonight at 7 o'clock with the formal launch of Trump RX. I'm telling you, this is going to be a very cool and unique event. So everybody really should tune in.
Can you clarify what the president said on the Diego Garcia deal? He said he didn't like it. Now again, he says he's for it.
He spoke with Prime Minister Starmer directly. He understands Prime Minister Starmer's position and he supports it. But as the president reiterated in that statement, of course, the United States reserves the right to protect our assets. We still have a military base, of course, on the island of Diego Garcia. And so the president reiterated to the prime minister and to all of you that the United States will never waver, if necessary, in protecting our assets anywhere in the world, but including on Diego Garcia. And he supports the prime minister's decision. Elizabeth.
Just on that one, Caroline, can I ask you?
Said that he's now seeking.
John, I'll go to you after.
The president said he's now seeking $1 billion from Harvard, considerably more than before. What changed here, and how are negotiations going?
Well, look, this has been an ongoing negotiation and frankly a frustrating negotiation for the president and the administration because we want a deal. And it's very unfortunate that Harvard has dragged its feet in understanding they need to rectify the wrongs and the illegal behavior that took place on their campus over the course of the past several years under the previous administration. And so the president wants a justified deal to correct for that criminal behavior that took place on their campus. He is now demanding $1 billion from Harvard University, and Secretary McMahon will be continuing to lead this negotiation in these talks. John.
Caroline, thank you. You mentioned some polling earlier that was very compelling on deportations. Rasmussen came out with a poll today, said 75% of Republicans want all illegals deported. It seems like the conversation has shifted again to focusing only on deporting illegal aliens who are criminals. Is the president still committed to deportations of the 20 million illegals that came here under Joe Biden, or are you starting to see that back?
Yes, and the president has always been committed to that, John, but we must prioritize, and the prioritization is on those tens of thousands of convicted criminals whom we know are still roaming our streets. ICE and Border Patrol and DHS have done a phenomenal job of removing tens of thousands of them. Actually, nearly 1 million people have been deported from our country over the past year, 2 million additional self-deportations. So nearly 3 million people have left the United States. But again, as you pointed out rightfully, Joe Biden and the Democrats allowed approximately 20 million people into our country illegally. So yes, of course, the president is committed to ensuring that America is and always will be a nation of laws.
Thank you, Caroline. Steve Bannon recently said, quote, "We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November." Is that something that the president is considering?
That's not something I've ever heard the president consider, no.
Can you guarantee to the American public that ICE will not be around polling locations or voting locations in November?
I can't guarantee that an ICE agent won't be around a polling location in November. I mean, that's frankly a very silly hypothetical question. But what I can tell you is I haven't heard the president discuss any formal plans to put ICE outside of polling locations. It's a disingenuous question.
Caroline, I had two questions regarding the DHS. The first one is one of the Democrats' main demands for DHS funding was to demask ICE agents. Is this something that the president is even considering?
Again, this is one of the specific points in the letter that went out by Senate Majority Leader Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. I won't negotiate the individual points from the podium, but it is obviously something the White House will be discussing with lawmakers on Capitol Hill in the coming days.
Is the administration concerned that the shakeup that we're seeing of DHS activity in Minneapolis could potentially embolden different obstructionist protesters around the country as they now have a playbook on how to get ICE out of their cities?
No, because what you saw yesterday with the drawdown of 700 agents only occurred because the condition that the president of the United States set for local states, local counties to turn over illegal aliens to ICE has been met. The vast majority of counties, nearly every single county now in Minnesota has made an agreement to notify ICE when they are releasing an illegal criminal from their jail. This is a huge win for the administration. Again, it's a condition the president set out and has been met thanks to the tireless efforts of Mr. Homan. And as for the left-wing agitators who have been illegally obstructing ICE's immigration efforts, we are not letting that behavior go unnoticed or unpunished. In fact, just today, the Department of Homeland Security arrested this individual. He is a self-proclaimed Antifa member who has been threatening, doxing, harassing ICE. He called for the murder of federal law enforcement officers. He encouraged bloodshed in the streets of Minnesota. He proudly acclaimed affiliation with the domestic terrorist organization Antifa, and the Department of Justice, thanks to the great work of HSI and the FBI, was able to locate and arrest this individual today. So we are committed to enforcing our immigration laws. We want that level of cooperation from state and local officials. And if people are illegally obstructing our federal law enforcement operations, if they are targeting, doxing, harassing, and vilifying ICE agents, they are going to be held accountable, like this individual here, who again is a self-proclaimed member of Antifa. He is a domestic terrorist, and he will be held accountable in the United States.
Caroline, just to follow up on Garrett's earlier question, I mean, you talked a lot about the SAVE Act. I know you spoke with the president about it before you came out here. The president has gone beyond that, though. He's talking about Republicans taking over elections, states are agents of the federal government. So just to be clear, is the president only calling on Congress to pass the SAVE Act, or does he want Republicans to go further than that before the midterm elections?
The president is calling on Republicans, again, and Democrats to pass the SAVE Act. I will reiterate, requirement for voter ID to vote. That should be something that no American should oppose. In fact, we know that the vast majority of Americans support it. Requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote, which is not hard to do. We should be able to do that in this country. If you want to register to vote in the United States of America, you have to be a citizen in the United States of America. And this piece of federal legislation will direct states to remove non-citizens from the voter rolls. I just had a conversation with the president about it.
Thank you, Caroline. I have two questions. Tariffs on South Korea. As you know, President Trump recently mentioned increasing tariffs on South Korea. When will the 25% tariffs increasing on South Korea begin? Secondly, what impact will this have on national security?
Sure. I don't have a timeline for you on that, but I will make sure that our trade team here at the White House gets you an answer swiftly and promptly. John.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Yesterday, President Trump in the NBC interview said that it bothers me that somebody is going after Bill Clinton. That somebody is the House Oversight Chairman, James Comer, a Republican. Why is the president bothered that they're investigating Bill Clinton and his Epstein ties?
Look, I think that the president has respect for the former president of the United States, Bill Clinton. He said yesterday himself, they've shared a good relationship, and that's what he was reiterating in that NBC interview.
Go ahead, Caroline. Can you tell us a little bit about the agenda for tomorrow's talks with the Iranians? What will be the focus of the discussions?
Diplomacy moving forward. The president has obviously been quite clear in his demands of the Iranian regime. Zero nuclear capability is something he's been very explicit about, and he wants to see if a deal can be struck. And while these negotiations are taking place, I would remind the Iranian regime that the president has many options at his disposal, aside from diplomacy, as the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the history of the world. Washington Examiner, go ahead.
Lynchburg County, Virginia is the third local law enforcement is defying the blue government's demand that they no longer cooperate with ICE. There's a lot of red counties that are thumbing their nose at the blue government, blue states leadership, telling them not to cooperate with ICE. Will this administration support those counties in any way? Support them either through legal help or?
Absolutely. And if there is a county in this country, whether it's red or blue, that seeks to cooperate, we've heard the calls from the president himself on asking Democrats and Republicans across the country to call on the Trump administration to work with them, not against them, in the matter of public safety and securing our homeland. Thank you all very much. You'll hear directly from the president tonight at 7 o'clock, and I hope everybody has a good weekend. Happy Super Bowl weekend. The president has wisely chosen not to make a prediction in Sunday night's game, but as a native girl from New Hampshire, go Patriots. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Caroline.
Well, hello, one and all. Good to see you. And I thought that was an important press conference for us to cover. Caroline Levitt covered quite a bit, obviously, and very and by the way, just for ending on that topic about the Super Bowl, there's a lot of comms happening around the Super Bowl. And one of them, which was very interesting, was President Trump's TikTok video that you may have seen, where he was about to make his prediction on who would win. And it was cut off on TikTok at 17 seconds. Very interesting indeed. I wanted to, so we've got some things happening seemingly around the Super Bowl I want to talk about a little bit more tonight. I love the question by Fox Peter Ducey about what halftime show would be on at the White House. And it's not going to be Bad Bunny. It's going to be Kid Rock on the Turning Point USA halftime show. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And I think a lot of people will be doing that if they are indeed watching the Super Bowl. So welcome one and all. I mean, we've got some major stuff happening I want to get into right away. First of all, I want to share this really uplifting news that just posted on X by Colin Rugg earlier. It was actually just yesterday, and if you haven't seen it, I want to play this for you. Check this out. This was Michael Alice was killed in Afghanistan in 2013 when he shielded a Polish army officer from a suicide bomber. He saved the life of Karol Sierpika, who became the father of a baby boy shortly after. Sierpika named the boy Michael in honor of Michael Alice. Your son is going to get the... So let me just play this for you.
Speaker, don't forget.
Hello?
Hi, is this Mr. Alice?
Speaking.
Hi, this is Chamberlain from President Trump's office. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I am the president calling for you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
One moment. Of course.
Robert and Linda?
Hi, Mr. President.
Hi, Mr. President. How are you?
Well, how are you both, okay?
We're nervous.
We're very nervous.
I know. You should be, because your son is going to get the highest honor that you can have. There's no higher honor than the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Oh,
So, he's going to get it, and Michael is going to be, he's looking down at you right now.
Aw.
And he's saying, well, my mom and dad are handling this pretty well.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you so much,
gosh.
President, Mr. President. You have no idea the happiness we have.
Thank you for facilitating this. This is so wonderful of you. We are so thrilled because we've been working on it for so long and spoke to so many people, but you made it happen.
Yeah, we made it. So you let people know about your boy, right? It's what you did, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Otherwise, how are we going to know, right? People don't know.
Right.
So I think that's fantastic.
And
you did a good job, and he did an even better job, right? And you're going to come to the White House soon to work it out, and we're going to have a ceremony for a few of them, and all brave people. But I read what your son did, and it's. I wouldn't do it, Linda. I wouldn't do it. Okay.
I'm not brave enough either.
Neither am I. Even though I'm a Vietnam vet, I still wouldn't have done it.
No.
Yeah.
Beautiful looking guy too. I have a picture.
Aw, thank you.
I just read his story.
Thank you.
I will see you in the White House soon.
Oh,
Yes! We're going to the White House! We love you! We're praying for you every day! Yes! Let's do this! MAGA! Yes!
Bring them all down. Hey, Robert and Linda, bring them all down.
Okay.
I certainly will.
We will.
I certainly will.
Yes.
Go celebrate.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And your boy is proud of you. Have a good time. I'll see you at the White House.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Can't
Thank you
wait.
for the call.
Thank you for the call.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Yes!
Now that's, my friends, is a president And that is really beautiful. I mean, the Congressional Medal of Honor for somebody who just risked his life. And it's just incredible what's going on. Folks, I'm going to take you to this story by Emerald Robinson, and she actually does kind of a take on Solomon's story on DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, and I'm going to let her take it away here. And this is very important. I'm going to take you to President Trump's Truth Post, and we are going to let me take you to. We're going to do a dive on President Trump's post on this subject. This is a major, major thing. Now, we've talked about for a long time, right? We experienced it together. We experienced the stolen election. We experienced J6 together. And so I'm going to take you through some major, major chunks of information that we're getting that are leading to justice for the stolen elections, not just the presidency. But so let me take you to Emerald Robinson, and let's listen.
Secret team led by the United States attorney in Puerto Rico seized rigged voting machines some time ago that was used in recent elections on the island that had turned them over to Tulsi Gabbard in a joint investigation at the ODNI, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. This blockbuster news was confirmed today by her office, by Tulsi Gabbard's office itself, in a terse statement given to corporate media outlets. Now, as I said, and I've even hinted on here to you many times, I've been aware of this information since the beginning of 2025. The voting machines contain evidence of voter fraud and manipulation, according to several national security sources who briefed me on the issue. I've had some conversations with Tulsi Gabbard's office themselves. Now, these machines were not allowed to be wiped, according to my sources, and reprogrammed by the vendor, Dominion Voting Machines, after being used in elections where widespread issues were reported. These issues even made it into corporate media at the time they happened, like the Associated Press. I think you'll recall us talking about that. Now, how bad were those problems? Of the 4,490 polling stations used in the last elections, 3,119, that's equivalent to roughly 70%, were unable to transmit results from their respective voting centers, according to the State Elections Commission, in response to a lawsuit filed by the Centro de Periodismo Investigativo, or the CPI, under Puerto Rico's access to information law. Now, the task force that Tulsi worked with was led by U.S. Attorney Stephen Muldrow for Puerto Rico. The United States an attorney and his Puerto Rican team and his team of Homeland Security investigations agents and an FBI supervisory special agent, according to, this is Reuters reporting this, facilitated the voluntary turnover of electronic voting hardware and software to ODNI for analysis. So in other words, so to speak, they have the machines and they've had them for a while. Outlets like Reuters and CNN are all freaking out, parroting Mark Warner, saying that Tulsi does not have the quote unquote authority to investigate. But just as they freaked out last week when Gabbard's appearance at an FBI raid in Fulton County, Georgia, which we covered wall to wall, really made him mad. Fulton County itself is flipping out, actually asking a judge in a filing this week to force the federal government to give back the ballots that the county's already said they intend to destroy. A spokesperson from Tulsi's office responded to the Reuters claims, and Senator Mark Warner saying, quote, given ODNI's broad statutory authority to coordinate, integrate, and analyze intelligence related to election security and our known work on understanding vulnerabilities to foreign and other malign interference, ODNI conducted an examination of electronic voting systems used in Puerto Rico's elections. And in her letter to Mark Warner this week, Gabbard explained how an executive order signed by Warner's favorite president, Barack Obama, in July of 2016, does in fact actually give her exactly that authority he's saying she doesn't have. It states that the ODNI is the lead federal agency for intelligence support for coordinating responses to significant cyber incidents that includes quote unquote elections systems. Biden also issued the national security memo on critical infrastructure, security, and resilience or at least his auto pen did, on April 30th of 2024, that also listed the ODNI as the lead agency for intel support for any significant threat to critical infrastructure. And of course, that includes our elections infrastructure. And joining us now for all of these developments and honestly so much more, we've got a laundry list of items to go through, is Patrick Byrne. It's good to see you, Patrick.
It's good to be seen. Good to be seen, Emerald.
So what can you tell us about this breaking news? Reuters is reporting it, CNN. Now they're saying that they found nothing significant. And I'm actually here. I mean, I think John Solomon just went on War Room before this show went live. Okay. Just before us, saying that Tulsi is about to tell the president that it really was just fake driver's license, that it had nothing to do with the flipping of votes of machines. That was just breaking. So this is the media that's going out on this story, but we have known that this task force was instituted some time ago and that they did have these machines. So what do you make of the breaking news today?
Well, what's key is that these were seized after the 2024 November 5th election, and they did not expect to lose that election. So I think that you'll find, so the media is being very, very narrow. And well, they didn't find connectivity from Venezuela. Well, that's just called a straw man argument. We're not saying that they're going to find connectivity to Venezuela. They may find foreign connectivity, might show Canada.
I want to take us to. I just want to take us to the Mark Warner in the middle of this, because he is, those who scream the loudest. And I want to just tell you a brief story about him. And me meeting him right after this. But check out, now this isn't a U.S. Senator from Virginia saying if there's, something wrong with the election system, we need to fix it. He is saying that Tulsi can't do it.
Most of you now have seen the news, which I raised concerns about Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, showing up completely inappropriately at the FBI raid on the voting facility in Georgia. Beyond the pure craziness of this may be the first step of an organized effort to sow doubt about our elections, not just this fall, but primaries. And in Virginia, if we have an election about redistricting, we have got to all up our guard, stand up and protect the integrity of our elections. I'm going to mount a major effort from the Intelligence Committee standpoint.
Oh, so the Democrats, one of the leaders of the Democrats, is going to protect our elections. That's rich.
We're bringing in some of the country's top experts. We have to be on defense. We all have to go to battle stations. Stand up and speak up. Our country's better than this. Most of you now have seen the news, which I raised concerns about.
Our country is better than this, Mark, and that's why you're being completely ratioed on every comment that you put out there about the elections. My brother was very friendly with Mark Warner, my brother Craig, who we lost. And he was kind of in a group with Mark. And so we all played basketball one day, and I met Mark. And at the time, I believe he was running for governor of Virginia. And we played pickup, and I was blocking his shot at will. Like, he couldn't get a shot off against me. And at one point, he literally kicked me in the balls because he was so frustrated, and it wasn't. It was easily avoidable, and it was definitely intentional, and it just told me what kind of person that he was. Like, he went up for a shot, and then his foot went up, accidentally, right? Which is absolutely absurd. It's the first time it's ever happened to me in all my years of playing basketball, by the way. I've gotten elbows, I've gotten knees, never gotten kicked there. So was never a big fan of this guy. And now that he's completely shilling for the deep state, it just speaks volumes about how he must be compromised. And and he's so far up Obama's ass, it's disgusting. And lifelong Virginian Mark Warner and Tim Kaine are both evil. Yeah. And so no integrity on the Democrat team. Very un-American, without question, right? Okay. Now, Byrne, I question his credibility too, but he's offering us some information that I wanted to dig into a little bit. But remember, Q said those who scream the loudest. So we're gonna go down this election thing just for a few more minutes, and then we're going to and let me get back to Emerald Robinson's work with Patrick Byrne right now.
But once it's showing foreign connectivity to Canada, you don't know where it's really from. It's hot. It could be 5 or 6 hops from where it's really from. So the media is playing its normal role of trying to minimize everything it can. But I think it's far too early to conclude what they found or what they didn't find there. But it is the first time I was surprised they identified the U.S. attorney for Puerto Rico, who you've identified as Muldrow, Stephen Muldrow. One thing the public should know about him is he's career DOJ, very highly regarded in the DOJ. He was promoted to the U.S. Attorney of Puerto Rico under Trump the first time, but when Biden came in, he fired. There's like 94, I think, U.S. attorneys around the country. Small states have one, big states have multiple. And he when Biden came in, he fired 93 out of 94. He's the one he left because he's career DOJ. He's widely regarded. He's not partisan. He's as straight as an arrow, from what I hear. I've never actually met the man, but I know someone who has. I spent a lot of time with him. And he's got this wonderful, sterling reputation within the DOJ, real old school and not partisan. So if he's behind this, then that's about as clean and squeaky clean as you get. And the public should know that before the bad guys spin it into demonize him in some way.
And can I just say this? What I did pick up on that I found very odd in the reporting from the corporate media outlets, I knew who was the U.S. attorney in Puerto Rico, right? I knew this, but they did not mention his name. They just listed his title, which is very unusual when outlets like Reuters or CNN is trying to, do a hit piece on someone. Essentially, they're doing a hit piece on this evidence, right? And Tulsi Gabbard. Is that because Muldrow is so squeaky clean and that he did stay at the DOJ or at least in the Justice Department under Joe Biden?
It's going to be really hard for them to demonize him or tarnish him. He is highly regarded throughout the DOJ, and Biden left him in and then reappointed him. So he's as squeaky clean as you get. He's got the imprimatur of Biden as well as Trump, and he's really just career DOJ. He's like everyone's supposed to be in the DOJ, and 40 years ago, I think everybody was. Somewhere along the line, it changed. So he can't be. His motives. And I don't find anything problematic about this stuff at all. You can see the dots lining up. Do you want to? Yeah, well, where do you want to take the conversation? I'll let you lead.
One second. I do just want to add in, because this is why I'm looking down a lot. I'm having conversations on the side here. And one source, I asked about some of this reporting about what Tulsi was going to report to the president. One source just told me that is not the accurate story. That
what John Solomon reported
that is a manipulation. Said it's, quote, a manipulation of the real story. So we're still working on getting the details for you. I'm talking to someone at ODNI myself. So this is a developing story. It's breaking and developing. So I would say stay tuned on the front of this piece of information, right? That the U.S. attorney in Puerto Rico seized the machines.
So this is, this is crumbling. Their house of cards of stealing elections is absolutely crumbling. And I want to take you to a few things that support this. President Trump's truth on this subject today at 6:04 p.m. tonight. America's elections are rigged, stolen, and a laughingstock all over the world. We are either going to fix them or we won't have a country any longer. I am asking all Republicans to fight for the following: Save America Act. All voters must show voter ID identification. All voters must show proof of United States citizenship to register for voting. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Okay. So we go to the capital letter count on Snedheads, and we go to, we see there's 185 capital letters of that. Going to Q drop 185, and we see the Rothschilds with the golden Y, with the headdress, right, at the party. And what's being released right now with all the Epstein stuff is we know that these people are evil and they've done some really horrendous things to children. And we know that this whole cabal is being taken out. The timestamp 6:04, we dropped the 0. I'm sorry, I didn't bring you with me on this one, but you guys, I've showed you this very many times. Okay. We drop the 0, we go to 64. Fellow patriots, I'm being advised actions have created accelerated counteractions. We have not yet ascertained the scope of the attack. Watch the news outlets. POTUS's Twitter takedown was not by accident, as referenced several hours ago. Should the lights go out, please know we are in control. This is huge. Do not panic. We are prepared and assets are in place. God bless. I must go for good at this point. Now, we are prepared and assets are in place. This is very, very important. And also that the actions are creating accelerated counteractions. Okay. And by the way, the comment about President Trump saying they ought to leave Bill Clinton alone. Oh my God. I mean, talk about like, are you serious? Like, what if you don't think that that is completely staged, completely planned to get the left to say, well, why doesn't he want us looking at Clinton? Let's dig deeper on Clinton. Maybe Clinton knows something about Trump. I mean, it's masterful, folks. It's just as ridiculous as July 8th when he said in the cabinet meeting, we still talking about this Epstein guy, and Epstein Q dropped like 11 Epstein posts and blackmail posts that day. So very, very important that we're getting, that we're understanding the way President Trump does what he does, so that we can better, dig in and figure out what exactly is going on. And speaking of the Clintons, okay, this was yesterday, and Hillary, okay, said now at the final hour, they had to respond. The lawyer had to respond to the subpoena for their arrest, or for the. They said that they had violated their subpoena, so that they were going to be arrested. And in the final minutes, the lawyer said that they would meet, and they're going to meet. I think it's the 26th and 27th of February. She said yesterday, for 6 months, or this is today, actually, for 6 months, we engaged Republicans on the Oversight Committee in good faith. We told them what we know under oath. They ignored all of it. They moved the goalposts and turned accountability into an exercise in distraction. So let's stop the games. If you want this fight, Representative James Comer, let's have it in public. You love to talk about transparency. There's nothing more transparent than a public hearing, cameras on. We will be there. Interesting. So we've got them now saying that they're going to testify. We've got Bill Clinton saying that that President Trump, pointing out Bill Clinton, saying I think they should leave him alone, so that it looks also, by the way, from an optic standpoint, that it looks like Trump is not going after them, that he's actually sticking up for President Clinton. Like Caroline said, he's got respect for President Clinton. He's got respect for the office. But you've got to be kidding me, guys. I mean, this reverse psychology is unbelievable. 26th and 27th. Yes. equals the number 17. Good call. Very good call. Yeah. Yeah, I would have just held them in contempt, no second chances, but there's a reason why it's playing out the way it is. That's for sure, right? A Byrne funded a private jet flight for Enrique, Proud Boys leader for J6, part of the chaos to make MAGA look bad, in my opinion. Interesting. Fucked over Tina Peters, etc. Bad dude. Yeah, I haven't, you guys know me. I haven't been a fan for quite some time with this cat. So, but we'll see how it plays out with the Clintons, right? We'll see how it plays out with this election interference, the Puerto Rican machines, the Venezuelan machines, and everything that comes with it. This is definitely, this is next level trolling here. And so what we're getting from Q is all of this way, way out in advance of anybody ever knowing any of this stuff that we're not awake. So it's very huge. Today's Delta, they never thought she would lose. Q, panic in DC, in theaters now. People actually believe those responsible for the attempted coup attempt of a duly elected sitting U.S. president will go unpunished. Not just the stolen elections, but the coup to reverse the election of 2016. End to our constitutional republic, no equal justice under the law, no accountability, escape unscathed, buckle up. Q. So Q is telling us, do you people actually believe that they're going to get away with this? They are not. They are not. And this is all coming to head. And it really is remarkable what we're seeing unfold here. And it's getting very exciting, folks, because the more that people like Mark Warner cry out about this whole situation, rather than actually saying, hey, yeah, we should take a look at the elections, but also, why is Tulsi there? She shouldn't be there. Well, it's not up for him to say, and she is supposed to be there, and they've confirmed that. She has broad sweeping, powers, but he's saying they're trying to rig the elections. This is what the Democrats are doing, and it's quite sad, and it's quite desperate. And do you sense the desperation in their voices? Do you sense the desperation in their actions? And this is what's happening. And President Trump shared this today by Wayne Dunlap. President Trump reposted this. California's lost money, $32 billion COVID relief payment fraud, $24 billion unaccountable homeless relief, 18 billion high-speed rail fraud track laid. Fraud, zero track laid. Fraud track. I thought 2.5 billion food stamp fraud, 650 million 911 system that never worked. That was supposed to overhaul the 911 system. So all of this is bubbling up to the surface, and it's quite exciting to see, see it happening the way it is. Do we expect anything different from them, Whip and Spur? No. And they've got to, again, President Trump, again, folks, took us to this. Actions have created accelerated counteractions. Should the lights go out, please know we're in control. He took us right to it with his timestamp tonight on the election situation. So this is not this is not just, oh, he decided to send that at the last minute, and he reposted this regarding California as well. And by the way, the reason why I'm bringing up California is because, my God, the election has been rigged in California for God knows how long.
In Minnesota, they thought they would be spending $3 million on children with autism.
Yes.
And they were going to invest this $3 million to give the kids who are there, and not every child has autism, but what enough do that there was going to be a need to pay families to help these kids get through their days and manage their issues. Fine. The budget now is $400 million. So forget about the fact that it's more than 130 times more money. Who's going to take care of the kids if all the kids are diagnosed with autism? Yeah. Why does every child have autism? Because they started paying moms to lie that their children had autism because they could get paid money. And the kids who don't need services now are forced to take care of services because we're paying the service providers to take care of kids who don't have a problem. So you understand that it's a perverse process where if you don't do it, they think you're dumb. I'm paying the moms, I'm paying the providers, the kids, God bless them, have no idea this is happening. And you're just ripping money out of the system, but also diluting care for the kids who need it. This is what political patronage and dishonesty in these precious programs does. And again, the money is not the primary problem. It's hurting the people who are most vulnerable. Hubert Humphrey, whose name is on this building that I'm in right now in Washington, he said something beautiful. And he's a Democrat, by the way. He said, it is the moral obligation of government to take care of those at the dawn of their life, which are children. We cover 53% of kids in America. Most children are covered by Medicaid, by our insurance or CHIP. We have to take care of those at the twilight of life. Those are our seniors. Every great society takes care of its seniors. We're great people. We're going to do that. You've worked your whole life. You've contributed. We respect you for that. We would help you. So those are the dawn of life. Those are the twilight of life. And those living in the shadows, the kids and the adults, and also people in the shadows. We've got to take care of these people. Our fellow man needs our help. Cowardly acts, running from the challenges of dealing with corruption, of powerful forces who can influence what's going on in your life, who are uncomfortable to fight against. Nobody wants to fight the Russian mob in LA, but someone's got to do it. I mean, my goodness, they elected you. Go do your job.
And we're going to get this. We're going to get the SAVE Act. Thune's under a lot of pressure. Folks are putting a lot of pressure on. We got to keep it going.
The surface about the SAVE Act. This is a bill to safeguard our elections and require proof of U.S. citizenship before voting, among other provisions. Now, our conversation on this started with Scott Pressler, who has been calling on Senate Majority Leader John Thune to allow a vote every day since January 1st. Earlier this month, Scott joined me here to make his case.
The American people demand Senate Majority Leader John Thune bring a vote on the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, and let's have proof of citizenship to register to vote. We have this one moment in history with Donald Trump at the helm, with a trifecta Republican government. I say nuke the gosh darn filibuster, pass law after law after law.
That interview went viral and senators went into action. Senator John Cornyn said he spoke to Leader Thune about the SAVE Act. Senators Katie Britt and Dave McCormick signed on as co-sponsors, and several others like Rick Scott ramped up his support publicly. Here's Senator Scott last week.
However we do this, all right, whether it's part of the spending bill this week, whether it's a separate bill, whether we have to stay there, and do a standing filibuster, whatever it's going to take, we got to get this passed. We've got to secure our elections. I can't imagine a Republican senator that would vote against, making sure that you have to have proof of citizenship to register to vote and to vote. Now, how could anybody, I don't know how a Democrat could be against this.
Yeah. After that interview came an avalanche of support for the SAVE Act. You see it here. The tally now sits at 49 co-sponsors, and Senate Majority Leader John Thune said this week he will allow a vote.
They are still modifying the bill. It includes right now a requirement that you be a citizen to register to vote, but it doesn't include a requirement that to vote you be a resident. That's being fixed and addressed, and I think the new bill that comes out hopefully will deal with that. But I mean, at some point we'll have that vote.
And by the way, the Delta for today, and I'm going to take you to something Q related here in a moment, but the Delta for today, and there it is, the single largest donor of Shadow Inc., the company behind the failed Iowa caucus app, is George Soros. So this is Iowa. We heard about Iowa when it going back to 2008 with Venezuela, with Maduro. We think that's coming out. In case anybody missed it, it will surprise no one to learn that Soros is the #1 funding source behind Shadow. Now, let me also take you to today's Delta, the first Delta 666. Okay. Now, I want to remind you that President Trump took us to this today, okay, with his capital letter on the elections. Goes right to Soros. Goes right to Rothschilds, one of the final two sides of the triangle, Saudi Arabia, Rothschilds, and Soros, right? And then we go to the actual Delta. Why did the memo drop a Friday and before the Super Bowl? Did this seem strange to you? This was the Devin Nunes memo, and this is all coming out. Watch the news. Rothschild estate sale, Black Forest. We just saw the Rothschilds with President Trump taking us to that, confirming Q. Remember when they put it up for auction, okay? Why would the Rothschilds have to auction off some of their most prized possessions? Stock market dive, 666, coincidence? That was a stock market dive that correlated with this Delta as a 666, telling us that patriots are in control. Soros, transfer of wealth, because of the executive order 13818, right? Crimes against humanity, but also 13848, which are the crimes against our elections. Dopey freed. Okay. Dopey was Al-Walid. Okay. Prince Al-Walid, Saudi Arabia. Marriage for power, not love. Hilton, Rothschild. Okay. Soros, Clinton, etc. News unlocks map, think mirror, which team they don't know. Are we still talking about the Super Bowl here? Okay. We have the Patriots against the Seahawks, right? They don't know. Apache, these people are evil, still don't believe you are sheep to them. 2020 coming, meaning perfect vision. Public is vital, or the election 2020. Also, the hindsight is 2020. We've heard many times. Well, what about the hindsight of the 2020 election? That is all coming out right now. Public is vital, meaning you and I, we are vital to know this, to spread this information, and to talk about this. Release of info, vital. Outrage, justice. Can we simply arrest the opposition without first exposing the truth? Follow the light. Now, the answer to this question should be obvious, because if they arrest the opposition without first showing the public what the opposition has been up to and what they've been doing, yeah, it's not going to work. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not take you along with me. My apologies, my friends. My apologies. How did I miss that? So this is the one I've been unlocking. And then this one right here is reposted by Q. And Q follows up with 666. Signal to POTUS, they control the market? Question mark. Signal. Okay, the signal, how they're communicating. Threat. Welcome to the global war. All right. So this is were they telling POTUS that they control the market, but who controls the market now? Do you still think the black hats do, or do you think the patriots do? I'm interested in your thoughts on that. I believe patriots are in control. Okay. Yeah. So these are just some of the deltas. Valerie Jarrett phone call with Adam Schiff. They have it. They have it. This is what they're saying. The two listeners, no identification, and they're saying they have it. Okay. So that's Q. But let me take you to something that's very interesting. Why was Bill Maher thrust into the spotlight when President Trump took office? And then next thing you know, Bill Maher is actually saying nice things about President Trump. What are the odds of that? Okay. After he met with him. Okay. He actually said some nice things about him, which blew a lot of people away. And now, okay, look at what Bill Maher is saying.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but where does QAnon go for the apology? You know, I mean, QAnon, which believed in lots of really ridiculous things, like, you know, Democrats eat babies.
Yeah.
But they were kind of harping a lot on the idea that the elites are running this pedophile ring. And I mean, I made jokes about them. I also made jokes after the Epstein thing happened originally that were on the idea of, well, you know, obviously there was some smoke there. Well, now with all that's come out in the last couple of weeks, there's a little more than smoke. It does look like anybody who was at all able to get in touch with Jeffrey Epstein, he was the man.
We're doing it.
They just, yeah. I mean, and then they all lied about it. Everybody has, and the arrogance also of thinking they could just use their real name in an email, which they did, and didn't try to like couch it in, you know, when I used to get pot.
That's because they never thought she would lose.
Before it was legal, it was like, I'd like 2 shirts, please, you know, and no seeds in the shirts this time. You know, you had to sort of codify it. No, they're just openly talking in emails about this sort of, you know, sexual perversion.
But they are codifying sexual perversion, but we've been given the key to unlock those codes.
That they were all doing, and lots of people who you didn't think, you know, or I never imagined were doing it. I see these names come up. So, you know, I mean, QAnon, yes, a lot of crazy there, but you know what? You weren't totally wrong about that, you know, guys.
So how about that, my friends? Bill Maher.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
Can't believe I'm saying this. Yeah, we can't believe you're saying it either, Bill. Why? Well, because QAnon exposed you, or Q, I should say. QAnon is the term that those who don't understand what Q is use and try to discredit it. October 21st, 2020, Kid Love Productions US. Kid Love Productions. Bill Maher. The worst they said Michael Jackson did was a little grabby under the covers. If I could go back and trade that experience being beat up at age 12 for being gently masturbated by a pop star, I would do it in a New York second. But with Deborah LaFave screwing her 14-year-old boy student, the crime is that we didn't get it on videotape. Was he being taken advantage of? I wish I had been taken advantage of like that. What a memory she gave him. She's in jail because she is in love. That's how I view it. Maher said this about a Seattle school teacher convicted of having sex with a 12-year-old student and getting pregnant by him. Wow. So this is all Bill Maher, and the name of his production company is Kid Love Productions. Okay, that's what that was all about right there. All right. So very interesting, okay, that we have this Trump, you know, meeting with him, kind of thrusting him into the spotlight. And now Bill Maher coming around and talking about this. Unbelievable. Let me take you to this Savannah Nancy Guthrie story. Now, you know, listen, I am no fan of Savannah Guthrie. I showed her interview with President Trump on this show. We broke it down. It was on the pentagram with people masked behind them, 6 feet apart, 666. It was an absolute satanic ritual that they were getting, casting a spell on President Trump, and he totally broke that spell, and he totally broke her, made her look like a fool over her questioning of him regarding QAnon. And so now her mother is missing, but let's look at this link. And I've covered this connection before, by the way. And this is Savannah Guthrie's husband, okay, in the Clinton link. All right. Now, let me first take you to here. Let me take you here. Michael Feldman. Okay. Michael Feldman is married to Savannah Guthrie. Okay. He is an American communications consultant, political strategist, and former Democratic aide, best known for his long career tied to the Clinton-Gore administration and related to Democrat circles. He joined Clinton's 92 presidential campaign, and then after Clinton's election, he served in the administration in roles supporting Al Gore, and he was a liaison between the Clinton-Gore White House and U.S. Congress, helping advance the administration's legislative agenda. Feldman later co-founded the Glover Park Group, a prominent Washington, D.C.-based public affairs and strategic communications firm. In 2001, alongside other Clinton-era figures like Joe Lockhart, former White House press secretary under Clinton, the firm has been described in reports as having close ties to Bill and Hillary Clinton through its founders and networks, often working with Democratic organizations and clients leveraging those connections. He is currently a partner and North American co-chair at FGS Global, where he directs communication strategies for corporations, nonprofits, and other entities like NGOs that have been stealing money. He's also married to NBC co-anchor Savannah Guthrie. They have 2 children. Some online speculation, recent news has linked his professional background, including Glover Park, mentions and unsealed Jeffrey Epstein-related documents to broader conspiracy discussions involving the Clintons, Epstein, and political influence networks, though these largely appear speculative and tied to social media. But now that Savannah Guthrie's mother is gone, is it connected to the Clintons? This is Patriot as a Mother. This is her account right here. Give her a follow. Okay. So another Clinton body count, possibly. First, I'll tell you the facts of the abduction, then I'll link the Clintons through what I've discovered. It's in the Epstein files. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, Today co-show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, missing from her Arizona home. She was taken from home against her will. In the family's Instagram video posted on the evening of February 4th, the Today Show co-host confirmed she and her 2 siblings had heard the report about a ransom letter in the media and said they need to know without a doubt that she's alive and that you have her. Her husband is Michael Feldman. I just gave you his whole story. He scrubbed anything negative or horrific from the internet. Ask Anons. That's why we archive. Michael Feldman knows all the dirt that's been cleaned. Perhaps Nancy Guthrie was abducted for ransom to silence him prior to them having to testify on the Epstein files. Now, if you're Hillary and Bill and you're going in to testify in the Epstein files, but you know there's somebody behind you that they're going to bring in that's going to completely tank everything that you said, maybe you take that off the table. Okay? Offing him directly might be too risky at this time. All right? So very interesting. If you're wondering why President Trump has responded the way he's responded to Savannah Guthrie, we're going to help as much as we can. The full support of the federal government is behind you. Well, 2 things that does. One is it shows that he is, he's not above, he's not petty. Okay. He's not, just treating her like shit, because that's exactly what she has done to him. So he's taking the higher road. Okay. So people are like, wow, he's sticking up for Savannah and her mother and all that. It's like, yeah, well, that's a terrible thing to lose your mother. God bless that family. But what's really going on here? And is President Trump bringing it into the federal government to get to the bottom of what's really happening here, especially with Hillary and Bill being so forefront in the news right now, folks? Think about this. Think about what the deltas were today. Let me take you back to one of the deltas that I haven't read yet. Or did I? I am all over the place here, my friends. It's like there's so much going on. It is like it's a woven tapestry that I am just trying to unravel, my friends, and right in front of you, and you're watching it in real time. But I want to just reiterate, I did read this. Okay, this was this. News unlocks the map. And what's happening? The news is absolutely unlocking the delta for today. Okay. Soros, Clinton, Hillary's saying, yeah, let's do it live. Let's do it. It's like, what? Yeah, I want to see that shit. We ought to pay-per-view that shit and see what she and Bill have to say, because the flight logs tell a different story. The witnesses tell a different story. So how you going to bullshit your way out of this one, Hill? Okay, because I tell you what, I mean I would charge money for that. If I had that pay-per-view, I would charge money for that, and I would say, do you guys want to see a master class in bullshit and lying and saying you don't know, you don't remember, or you forgot, or what have you? Folks, it is just it's unbelievable. Okay. So let me take you to this, and this is kind of like all this stuff that's kind of swirling around. It's like, wow, what the hell is going on here? Let me take you to President Trump's post on TikTok the other day.
This is going to be a great Super Bowl. I've watched all season. I've seen these two teams just win, win, win. I see two great quarterbacks, young, great quarterbacks. It's going to be a fantastic Super Bowl, and everybody wants to hear who I pick. And I'll tell you what.
And it cuts off, in some circles, it was 17 seconds. In some circles, it was 18 seconds. But basically, it's right around there. And it's kind of like a tease, like, who I'm going to pick. And he's kind of teasing the Super Bowl. Now, he's already bashed the halftime show with Bad Bunny, right? He's already criticized that. And he's already kind of demeaned the NFL in the way that he talks about that kickoff, that new kickoff rule, where they start, at a different line and they wait until it's kicked before they take off running, wait until it's caught before they take off running. And it's, they're going to use their Melinda Gates 1198. Melinda, thanks for joining us here. And sorry about, Bill trying to put some antibiotics in your drinks so that you wouldn't know you got a venereal disease that he contracted from Jeffrey Epstein, one of Jeffrey Epstein's girls. But yeah, they'll claim that. They'll claim it all. Sarge, good to see you, brother. Nothing can stop what is coming. Absolutely. It's amazing. Yeah. Oh, Deborah says also her disappearance was on a full moon. Very, very interesting. Thanks, Sarge, for reposting. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, and I don't have much sympathy for Savannah Guthrie. She has been, I mean, here's the thing, folks. When this is, and I've said this many times, but and by the way, Demra says kind of like the Michigan governor psyop. Very, very well could be, just to point us in that direction. But one of the things that, you know, I've been saying is that when the people find out who Savannah Guthrie really is, like all these people of the media and what they have been covering up, and when child trafficking and horrible crimes against humanity and adrenochrome and all this is over here, they're saying, oh, over here, folks. Oh, don't look over there. That's all conspiracy bullshit. Fucking Bill Maher was still just saying that shit. Are you kidding me? He's like, oh, they've been wrong about a lot of stuff, but you know, you fucking prick. They have completely thrown a blanket over the most important topics, the most important and horrendous actions against the most innocent of all human beings on this planet, the children. They have it never would have been able to be successful for decades upon decades upon decades if it were not for people like Savannah Guthrie. Wouldn't have been able to happen. So President Trump is not very presidential the way he talks about the press. No, he's not. I miss Obama. He was very presidential. Yeah. Folks, when it comes out what they've been lying to us about and why, people are going to say, I wish Trump was harsher against these people, because they are absolutely the reason why they've gotten away with it. And that is just absolutely atrocious. And not going to happen anymore. Okay. Let's shift gears for a little fun here for a moment, folks. This dude, this guy, Josh Sider, I've played him for you before. I want to play this one here. If you haven't seen this, it's worth a watch. This is Josh Sider. Please give him a follow. I haven't followed him yet. I thought I did. Here we go.
Hi, how are you? Sorry if I just woke you.
All right.
I'm Finn, and I'm with the Migrants for Equal Rights, or the MFers, and we're just going around trying to collect some signatures. I'm not sure if you're aware, but ICE has been going around terrorizing a lot of people in the community.
Yeah, it's been terrible.
So there's a lot of people that are locked up right now, and we're just trying to get them released. So is that something you might be willing to lend your signature to?
Yeah, sure, I'll sign.
Awesome. If you could just sign right there where it says MFers. Yeah, I do. So we're actually a foundation that was created by Billie Eilish. And that's why I'm documenting this today, because we're going to make a film about it. So eventually these people, once they're released, they will need a place to go. Obviously, they can't go to Billie's neighborhood because it's gated and they have rules there. So usually we just bus them to middle to low income neighborhoods. So I just wanted to confirm with you it was all right if we bring them all here once they're released.
What? No. I don't think that would be a good idea.
Why wouldn't it?
Well, I can't make those kind of decisions, but we have an HOA and
you have rules with an
we
HOA?
have an HOA. I'm sure they wouldn't be okay with that.
But don't we have rules at the border?
Yeah.
So you're okay with them just flooding over the border and ignoring those rules, but you want them to obey your HOA's rules?
Well, I mean, I just can't make those decisions, but I don't think that sounds
But you can
right.
make a decision to abolish ICE and to release all these people like you're just about to do. Doesn't that seem a little hypocritical?
Yeah, I guess it does.
So
yeah.
you don't want rules, or you do want rules for these people?
I'm just saying I can't make that decision.
Okay,
But,
so
yeah.
maybe they shouldn't break rules, period. Is
Yeah.
that something we can agree on?
Yeah.
And maybe it's disrespectful to legal immigrants that are trying to do it the right way.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Can I get you to take those signs down that you have? The no ICE in the FDT?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
I mean, obviously you don't believe it, so. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Hey, I have one last question for you. What does an ICE agent say when you ask how their job's going?
What?
Pretty good.
Damn. Yeah, folks. Pretty genius. Just Cider. Hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Give him a follow if you would on X. Or you folks, if you're not on X, as you know, please go to snedheads.com and get yourself on there. You can join for free. We ask for your support, but if you want to join for free, please do so. Folks, we got a special guest. Sarge was in the chat, and he's got a decode that I checked out, and it is very good decode, and I want him to walk us through it. Sarge, welcome. He's going to go audio with us today, folks.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
all
quite
right.
well. Welcome, brother. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, David? Good to see you, brother. God bless
Good.
you.
Now, all the ladies in the chat are going to be very disappointed. You know, they can't see your beautiful face, but we're just going to go over the voice tonight, and we're going to pull up your decode. How about that?
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead and pull up the one that I had sent you that has 101, 107, and
Yes, got it up.
yeah, because
Right.
if you go to the one that's quoted first, that is here. I'll put this one on here. There, you can see my little face real quick. Here we go. We'll play that up there.
This one here.
There you go, everybody.
Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. So this one here. Nope. No, hold on. My bad.
It's the very. I sent you in the DM. It's that
Right there.
I'm trying to zoom in my phone here.
How about that?
It's this one. Now go to the quoted post in it first, because he talks about this earlier this week.
This one here.
3 days ago. Yeah. So click that one first.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is why I wanted you to do it, because I
Yeah.
don't. I try every once in a while. I'll do somebody else's decode, but I prefer that you do it. So
Yeah,
thanks
no
for
worries.
saying that. Awesome. Go ahead.
So this was actually a repost to another post, because we could go back one more, but it's not that point. But this is where it starts, right? This is where you're seeing the double comms happening within just a few days, where he's trying to point to us and tell us the same thing over and over again, because somebody either didn't catch it or it's not being talked about enough on the channels.
Right.
So POTUS posts on Truth Social. His last post was at 1:01 a.m. this morning. That was the one that he posted that you went over. You went over the 1:01 a.m. one. So this morning with 71 caps, Q drop 101, Obama's extraction of the map, right? And there's the context line. It says X, which I'm saying, I don't know what Phil stands for. I would assume Philadelphia, probably. Then it says Barack Obama extract.
Philippines.
Philippines, sorry, yeah. Oh, that's where the I don't know why I said Philadelphia. That's where the courts were. There was a courthouse that was over there too.
Yeah, he
So
was.
gone to
Barack
the-
Obama orchestrated the assassination from
Yes.
from there.
And do you
Assassination
go to the-
attempt on Trump.
Right? Did you go to the actual grid coordinates and see the map area and see what's around it?
Yeah, that was. I've done that many times.
Yeah, it basically shows a bunch of courthouses. Anyways, so it says here, Q drop 21, Obama, North Korea, Clinton Foundation, ISIS, right? Why did Barack Obama send billions in cash to Iran? What does this have to do with North Korea? What does this have to do with Saudi Arabia, Clinton Foundation, cash donations? What does this have to do with ISIS? Q drop 17 is Obama, POTUS, military intelligence, and Marines. And one of the lines out of there is,
Think
why
mirror.
does Obama travel in advance to POTUS to foreign locations? And then Q drop 4098, which is basically talking about Obama renegading Russia, which is at 1:01 p.m. Not 1:01 a.m., but 1:01 p.m. And it says, why did Hussein Barry choose renegade as his U.S. Secret Service code name? And not to mention that when I looked at it, it hit all markers. So then if you go, there's the map that's in 101, 130.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 138 or 130, I believe. There's an update to it. So that's the map, right?
Yeah.
And you can see the confirmation of the extraction at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then when you go
Zulu time.
Yes. And then when you go over, this is just all stuff that pertains to the rest of the photos in there. But if you when you get out of there and you go up to the new post, but this is just the rest of the Q drop. You can see everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 71. And right there, so hold on, zoom. I can't see that a little bit. Can you zoom in and then scroll up? This is the one I couldn't mark out because it was too big, so I couldn't put my little fancy boxes and stuff in here. But it says follow Huma, right? Huma is the what? The Harvard University Muslim alumni, right?
Yep.
And
And
then
that
you
was
have-
just in the press conference today, by the way.
Yes. And did you see my Harvard decode?
I did not. No.
Oh, brother, hold that on pause. We'll get there. That's
Okay.
gonna be big for this, and you can kind of just read that one if you want to. It
Awesome.
speaks for itself.
Awesome.
So then define cash laundering, right? Where did all this money come from? Who paid for it, right? And then we learned that it's what's it called, Al-Walid or bin Talib or whatever, Talal, right? Talib Al-Walid bin Talal or whatever his name is. So he's one of the princes, right? So that's where all this money is coming from. And this decode talks a little bit about that. It talks about the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, basically where all this money was coming from. And then it says right there, what happened when HRC lost the election in 2016? How much money was provided to the Clinton Foundation through Saudi Arabia? That's where the money backtrack began right there on the public screen. That was
minimum 150 million.
Yep. Then go to the following Q drops. Because these are all pretty much in support of of what was leading up to Obama at the time this was happening. Like, because we all know the Iran deal was by him in the first place.
Yeah.
It says, why does Iran travel in front of POTUS to begin to foreign locations? We all know this one. This is a common one that comes up. It's a very common post. But remember, it says right here, focus on the power of the Marine or of POTUS as it relates to the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Always keep that in mind when we're talking about this military operation, because if you've paid attention so far and you've been able to pinpoint it, every single operation that you've seen backed up by anything was the Marines.
And by the way, folks, just as a reminder, Sarge is a Marine.
Yes, sir. So I was taking a drink of water. Okay, and you can kind of carry on to the last, because that's all pretty much everything you need for this one to go on to the next post.
Yeah,
because you're
so
getting already.
by the way, just because the Savannah Guthrie thing is really launching the mainstream media into the forefront, and also President Trump dressing down Caitlin Collins the other day was just priceless, right?
Well, did you also notice how in almost all of those posts in the last 2 days, that day and the day before, it was all about Epstein?
Yeah. And since they misjudged the influence of the MSM, they are aggressively looking to censor throughout major platforms in exchange for CIA slush funds and worldwide access for expansion of said networks. Everything they do has been forecasted and prepared for. That's huge. That's huge. Renegade.
Yep. This is the one that hit all markers. Check that bad boy out.
Whoa. Okay.
So now go to the top again for this. What's the time on that? It says, what's the timestamp? 1301. Okay, yeah. So this is at 1301. So this is 1301. So 101. This is the opposite. I don't do the opposite very much, right? Because it was at 1:01 a.m. But when I saw the 1301, it was still 1:01 on the opposite on the civilian time clock, right? And it hit all markers. So I was like, I couldn't ignore this. And it so happened to be on top of that, you have it with everything else talking about Iran, North Korea, Uranium One, the whole damn deal that ended up with HRC gave it to Canada. Canada gave it to the EU. EU gave it to Asia. Asia gave it to North Korea and Iran.
Yep.
This is all part of that. And he's been signaling that for the last, I don't know, week.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time.
And we're having Hillary and Bill being deposed here on the 27th and the 26th, 27th, right? Or I forget 2 days.
Yeah.
One before the other, but regardless. And I heard you were talking about that. So they're going to go up there and they're going to do their piece and they're going to speak, right? I think this is where we're going to see where this is how they actually get the information and they can give it to the public, because we all know damn right the original Hillary would have never backed down to this. She would have never, none of this would ever happen. She would have gone out, swinging. But I believe, remember, Q tells us a lot that, her health is declining rapidly. He says it in there once or twice, right? Like,
Right.
she's very sick. Basically, she's deteriorating. Well, when you look at how old Bill looks and how old Hillary looks, to me, that's a dead ass giveaway. We're looking at a 2.0, but I'll leave that besides the point.
Yeah. I mean, we know that there's been several Hillarys, and that you're right. She looks way too young. Bill looks way too old, and or not way too old, but normal old, right?
Right.
Yes, please continue.
So this is going to kind of lead into, I want to read a line on this too, and then we'll go on to the next post. It says, define renegade. Would you mind pulling up the legal dictionary answer for the word renegade as we move on to the next post?
Sure. Well, here's one
never
in the graphic.
Yep. I forget it's up there. A person who deserts or betrays an organization, country, or set of principles. Right?
Yeah.
Now, let's take that and let's assume for just a second, because I know I've made this comment before, because things are starting to tell me that he may have flipped well before he even went into office, or maybe he was a plant on the other side. There's no way to know. And this is the only thing that I've ever seen that actually confirms it. If they were to give him the name renegade, pretend this is a movie, right? A person who deserts or betrays an organization. What if he's deserting and betraying his own organization? Because it says one of the three, right? It doesn't say all of them. It says an organization, a country, or a set of principles. He could have been betraying his organization and their principles. Now, I'm just throwing that out there, but
yeah,
and it's a little bit of a stretch on the broad scheme of things when you look at everything and how it all turned apart. But how did we get a president so stupid to publicly get caught with so much before any other president before him? Just think about that for a second.
Well,
David. I really want the viewers to think about that. Nobody has ever been this stupid.
First of all, this is a great mind experiment, and I welcome this. It's a thought experiment, right? Let's just say for a moment that he was a plant, he was Q, and he was there to expose all of this.
Well, no, I don't think he was Q, but could he have been read?
No, I mean, well, if he was in, he was picked by Q. He was
sure. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Used by Q. So that's certainly a very, very different way of looking at it.
I believe flipped before I believe the other, just to be clear. I believe he was flipped regardless.
Okay. You mean, well, he would have been
he
flipped
capitulated eventually.
Say again?
He capitulated eventually.
So, here's why I haven't really gone down that path, because they never thought she would lose.
Correct.
And so all of this, they have been bold, brash. They have put it right out in front of us. He had the party at the White House. He went against Hillary. Hillary said, I think we should restrict this to our normal, places that are safe rather than at the White House. But you're the president. You remember that WikiLeaks email?
Correct.
So for me, this was all a part. Calling himself renegade is almost like putting it right in our face, because without Q, without Trump, we never find any of this out.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, that's what
Right.
I said. This is it's just a fun one I like to play with, because I have thought there's been a few things that have happened, and when we get to the next post, which you can go to by now because we're ready for the next one now.
Okay.
Go up to the main one that this one was quoted over. with the 101 and the 107 and all that. Whenever you put in and this is just a train of thought or just a simple, like you said, a mind exercise, a mind experiment.
Yeah.
If he was, and that's actually a great way to call it, because that's what I call it in my own head. I'm like, okay, so how can I beat this narrative up and how can I prove it? Trust me, I could beat it up all day long. But if it was possible that he was at some point, flipped or capitulated or decided to make a deal, wherever his deal was, because it's apparent he's still alive, and it's apparent that he's been pretty much out of the limelight in a house with a brick wall around it, not too far away from the visible eye. So it's like, how come he hasn't been, other than his museum or art, scenario, he hasn't been very public about much, unless it was during COVID when it was he could wear a mask all day long and speak in front of and behind of Biden, right? And pretty much outside of that, he's been not on TV, unless he's been showing some photos like on X and stuff. But we all know how those can be misinterpreted or manipulated. All right, so this is where I bumped into the part that really got me going, right? So Trump posted on Truth Social yesterday. I'm a day late to this, but I still found it. I thought it was amazing. At 7:37 Eastern Standard Time, military 1937 with 168 caps. And he quoted meat market. Now, I very rarely ever do this, but when I do see quotes, I look at the word. If there's any meaning, I follow it. If not, I just leave it alone. So in the previous post, he's talking about 101. He's talking about Obama. He's talking about his call sign. And then you get into here, and it shows, I don't know where that Trump came from, but I guess that's there. It says meat market in civil gematria is 107, right? First, let's talk about the quoted post from below. So here's a quick overbrief. 101 is the map to Obama's involvement and distraction, and has the confirmation line posted at 11/5/2017 at 17:08 and 10 Eastern. Okay.
At
Now you look at
1908.
1908, yeah, 1908 and 10 Eastern. So 10 seconds. So Q Drop 107 talks about the go order in 2017. Guess where that go order came from, if you haven't already done this. In Q Drop 107, that post was at 11/5/17 at 19:59 and 21 seconds. In the post by Barack Obama, click that link. If you would, sir. No, the other one. Yes, sir. On November 5th, that same day, that same year, approximately, I don't know, what is that, from, what was it, 08? We have 43 minutes from that first drop. We have 43 minutes on the dot, and this is going to show it to Central, so it is still 7:51 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So there's that line right there. Now go to the Q Drop 107. Go back to the post and click the picture. Whichever one talks about 107. I don't know which one. Oh no, that's the Trump. That's the Trump picture first. That's 101. All right, here we go. Look at that post.
Fuck. Are you shitting me?
May God also grant all of us the wisdom to ask what concrete steps we can take to reduce the violence and weaponry in our midst. Note, when we just sent the go orders and when this tweet went live. Coincidence? I think not. So this is the only bit of information that I've been running this mind exercise within my own head for the last year, right? This is the only bit of evidence I've finally gotten to the 3 or 4 times I've ever spoke about it live public on any space or show or anything about Q-Drop. This is the 4th time. This is the only time I finally have evidence of it. But it's very nil. But if you thought about it, why would he give his own go orders in 2017 before he was even done with his first year?
Now, when you say the go orders, what do you interpret that to be?
Go back to Q Drop 101. Read the bottom.
The extraction confirmation. Yeah.
Because what's the time on that? Scroll all the way up. Remember, it just said that in the do. 1908. So roughly 43 minutes before he gave the go order.
Mm-hmm.
And in 107, he says the go order is, and he puts it right there. And the only post on X, Dave, the only post on X in history recorded other than this post has that exact line in it.
Yeah. Interesting.
I was completely astounded. I said, I went on Grok and I went on ChatGPT and I
Nice.
was like, type this in and where does this exist anywhere on the internet? And both of them went straight to X and straight to that post right there on the right.
Well,
now that post, that
and-
picture ties it all together. Sorry, go ahead.
And this is the actual quote. May God also grant us all of us the wisdom to ask what concrete steps we can take to reduce the violence and weaponry in our midst.
I don't know if anybody's ever.
So that was 7:51, and Q posted at 7:58.
Yep.
And the
that's a 0 delta.
Yeah.
His Obama's post was a 0 delta.
So here's how I would justify such a thing. And by the way, we had a Delta today, Dopey freed, right?
Oh,
and
there you
Dopey was our lead.
Right.
Okay. Which means Dopey turned. Okay.
Correct.
And the thing about that is that Dopey had control of Twitter as an early investor. So the purge happened right before Q started posting in Saudi Arabia. And so that this was all done at this point. And I've proven on several posts that Q was in charge of Twitter long before they brought Musk in.
Oh, likely, absolutely. It had to be a precursor before that. Because
Yeah.
remember, they took Trump off. Trump didn't get it. It was all part of it. Trump being taken off part of all of it.
Yeah, they told us that they
Yes.
were going to do that. So, and also Melania's post. Speaking of Melania being huge, and I want to talk to you about that briefly too. But Melania's post from 2012 or 13, where they changed the giraffe to an elephant. I believe that was the change. You can only do that if you have the code.
Yes.
You can't change photos like that. And so that told us that they were in charge of Twitter at that time. It's at least certainly some of the code, right?
Right.
And so given that, and also Hillary has been, for years has been dropping posts that are very damning timestamp wise to herself, right? I
haven't been watching any of her posts. Maybe I need to go take a look. That would be interesting.
Well, I'll tell you, one of her posts that she pinned, this is when I was in a Spaces and I talked about how we know that the white hats are in control of Hillary's account.
Right.
And
they had the Haitian picture up there for the longest.
Yeah. And one of the moderators said, hey, can you give us an example? And I said, well, there's so many that just, she posts a timestamp and it goes in, it's about the Clinton Foundation and Haiti and shit like that. It's like, if you're helping Hillary, you're saying, hey, hold off a minute before you post that. Right.
Right.
So I went on her account and I said, let me find one and go ahead and let somebody else come up and I'll come back and so I went on her X and I looked at her pinned post that was about her book tour. Okay. And the pinned post was one that I was taken to just
I didn't read the line on
just
that.
the other day. And it was this one. For months.
Yeah, Peter Island.
For months, her
Nickelodeon.
timestamp was 10:01. Right? And this is the 187 site. Remember when Trump was saying 187? What a beautiful number. What a beautiful place. And this was at the time when he was talking about beautiful Hillary.
Yep.
Okay. And then sacrifice, collect, the adrenochrome, tunnels, table 29, D room H, D room R, D room C, HRC.
Right.
That's her. So if you're sitting at, table 29 in room D and Hillary shows up, you better move your ass. Okay.
Yeah, right.
That's
Get
what
up
I'm
out of
saying.
there.
Pure evil, conspiracy, right? This was pinned regarding her book tour for months. Okay. And so, so they're in charge of hers. This was in 2018. They could easily be in charge with Barry's, especially given his close connection to Al-Walid and what Al-Walid and Barry were sharing.
And
right?
that's why I think, because now if you go to Harvard, go find my Harvard post.
Oh yeah, shit! I can't wait. By the way, while we're on this subject, no, because we're following the Barry thing, but let me take me back to we'll go back to Melania here in a moment. So Trump posted. Let's see, which one am I looking
Just
for?
type in. Oh shoot, let me go find it real quick. Why? Type in.
Well, let me share the our chat, and you might have shared it with me here.
I think I sent it to you in your DMs. Let me check.
Vatican?
No, it's literally all about Harvard. Let me find it.
Meat market.
Type.
Maxwell. HRC.
Go to this 2 days ago. Type in Harvard here. I'll send it to you real quick. Let me just
DM
it to you right fast. Be easier that way. Because I don't know how the actual search goes. It's in the DM.
Got it. Okay, here we go.
All right.
It's up.
Okay. I'll read it from my end, and then you can follow along on that end.
Perfect.
See it better on my phone. All right. So at the top, obviously, it says Harvard's decode. Trump posted on Truth Social yesterday. This was on a couple days ago, so this is a little bit old, but it's leading up to what we're talking about now. At 11:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, military 2320, about Harvard. That Trump post, which I'll read real quick if you want to pull it up as well, says, strongly anti-Semitic Harvard University, it's in the pictures as well, has been feeding a lot of nonsense to the failing New York Times. Harvard has been, for a long time, behaving very badly. They wanted to do a convoluted job training concept, but it was turned down in that it was wholly inadequate and would not have been. I know you guys have read this one before already. In opinion, successfully, it was merely a way of Harvard getting out of a large cash settlement of more than $500 million, a number that should be much higher for the serious and heinous illegalities that they have committed. Pause right there. A number that should be much higher for the serious and heinous illegalities that they have committed. Now scroll down to the bottom where it says, some connected to the university, however, think Harvard has no option but to eventually cut a deal. The administration has repeatedly attempted to cut off research grants. I said that on the second time for a reason, which would be an untenable crisis. Like many major research universities, Harvard relies on federal funding for its financial model. And then he goes on and says, thank you very much for your attention. Now, go back to the post.
This is the post, by the way. And he follows it up, too, with another.
Yeah. He does. Go to the main post now where it's just the actual decode itself. I go on to say there are 7 drops about Harvard. Most of the Q drops below talk about Barack Obama's tuition being totally paid for by Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, other exterior foreign donations, and one, this one's big, includes China's involvement through the college, through Lieber, in the COVID-19 virus. Was Harvard complicit in settling the education in setting up the education for Barack Obama? Did they willingly fund the strategic scientist Lieber? After sitting on the phone with Sir Oliver, I learned something I wasn't previously privy to, which begs my last question. If they did actually pay for the strategic science Lieber, then did Harvard know what Lieber was trying to do when we caught him with 2 spies trying to leave the country with vials of the virus? Is this why Trump is really going after Harvard? Is the current state of affairs just a public cover for total declassification? Nah. It could be, because are they really going to tell us some of the facts that they've been trying to hide and keep low without having massive public panic, right? Because remember, if they told them everything,
right,
it would be bad. So this how we, and I remember you may have seen this in the past few times I posted, and sometimes you'll see someone getting arrested, or they say, oh, they passed away, and like you'll see characters leave the main stage, but it won't make sense sometimes. This is like a main, plot, like a main, location in the movie that's about to be removed.
The other thing it does, it's great optics to show, Trump is in lockstep with Israel, which he's not.
Right. Absolutely. Because they're a big funder of Harvard as well. And so then I go on to say here, Huma, remember I said this at the beginning, Harvard University Muslim alumni. Near the end of POTUS's True Social post, he said this, which is what I read, which is very important, right? They're seeking $1 billion. Or this is what I meant to read. One of the things, we're seeking $1 billion and want nothing further to do in the future with Harvard. He just wrote them off.
That's unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you go to the Q drops, right? Because we posted at what time again? It was at 11:20 p.m. or 23:20 with I didn't even count the deals. I just straight up typed in Harvard, right? So there's 7 total posts about Harvard. You get 199, 1235, 1948, which half it's going to be down below on this first drop, and then we'll go to the next post, which has the rest of them, which there'll be 1948, the other half, 3663, which is a mirror drop, and 3842. On 199, make this quick. I'll just read off what I pointed out because this is important to see where he's actually signaling. On 199, it says at the top, remember I just said this earlier, Uranium One, Canada, the EU, Asia, Iran, North Korea. Where did it end up? It ended up in Iran and North Korea. What was the purpose, right? Who was supposed to win the election of 2016? We all know that. It's supposed to be Hillary. Never thought she would lose.
Yeah.
And you have all this in here, but you go down, you see who paid for Barack Obama to attend Harvard. Oh, we know that now, right?
Huh. Yeah.
Oh,
This is spot on. Yeah.
Yeah. Now at the bottom, you have the sum of all fears. What country was supposed to be in business in the sum of all fears?
Russia was.
Oh, is Russia? I thought Iran was part of that too. Wasn't there talks of Iran in it as well? It's the same storyline though, man.
Yeah. It's basically the storyline is they're going to use they were using a nuke to start World War III.
Right.
To get Russia and the U.S. to fight against one another.
But I bet you that was going to be planted by Iran and not Russia.
Yeah, it was one of the. I think it was one of the Russian oligarchs that was doing it, or a Ukrainian somebody, but it was somebody that was trying to get Russia and U.S.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I haven't seen it since
Same. I watched it again like a year ago, and I'm forgetting it already.
I need to put that on my list. I just stopped watching TV, man, after 2018. I just.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so anyways, moving on. I don't want to bore the people. So 1235 on the next one, right? We have 1235, and we have good article. Don't forget about Huma, right? Awan. And I forget, it's something Jolette. I can't remember the first name. FBI, America for Sale, Betrayal, Treason, No Name. We know who that is.
Oh, that's Valerie Jarrett.
Valerie Jarrett, yeah.
And she is the snake.
Yes.
I've gone over that with you, right?
I don't think we've talked about it.
Well, Valerie Jarrett's, this was an original from me years ago. I don't know how far along, but the snake poem that Trump keeps reciting.
Yes.
That was written by Oscar Brown Jr., who was a Chicago. He was one of the first He was the first nationally syndicated Negro Newsfront was the name of the show, and his partner on Negro Newsfront was a man by the name of Vernon Jarrett. Vernon Jarrett's son William married Valerie Bowman, who's now Valerie Jarrett. So when Trump was reciting that snake poem, he was pointing to Valerie Jarrett and Barack Obama. Yeah.
He's so surgical, isn't he?
Oh, I mean, this is just a surgical operation across the board.
Sharpest scalpel in the Midwest, my boy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we'll finish off 1235. I mean, absolutely surgical. So obviously we go down, inside out destruction, essay. There's three different things that essay can mean. That's what he's telling us. Huma and Hussein. Huma, remember, Harvard University Muslim alumni, and Hussein, Barack. Then you have Harvard, which that's actually a pretty good link. I think it should work, if I remember correctly. It just brings it up and it shows it.
Yeah.
Then you have who paid, right?
And Al-Walid, by the way, paid for the building of where this is. The Harvard University Muslim alumni, they have their own building that Al-Walid.
Right, to set it all up. Yes, he funded all of it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then it says SA, we know Saudi Arabia, vital, right? House of Saudi. Now we go on to 1948. This one's a long one, but I'm only going to point out what I read off read off what I have pointed out because it just goes quicker that way if you're looking at the same drop that from the posts. So it shows the time at the top, which was in 8/28/2018, and it says who paid Hussein to attend Harvard Law School, and then I underlined Prince Al-Walid bin Talal. Then I put a box around pay Hussein, so because he says, why would Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, Saudi royal, pay Hussein to attend Harvard Law School? These are the questions, right? They're trying to set him up and groom him and get him ready.
Yeah.
Then you look down and you see at current time frame, who is mayor, former Richard Daley, who is mayor, current.
By the way, so before you skip over who is Valerie Jarrett, the other thing about Valerie Jarrett is she's Obama's right-hand man and the president of the Obama Foundation. Okay. She moved in. She moved in with Obama and Big Mike when they moved onto Mass Avenue in DC after the presidency. And she was born in Iran. She is the Muslim Brotherhood plant inside of Barack Obama's cabinet.
So she's the reason why he was always.
And she hired Michelle Robinson.
Right. So, because I'm still learning this stuff I remember, I've only been in this is now 1.5 years now, almost 2 years I've been in this. So,
well, you're catching up pretty quickly.
I just try to learn and figure things out. If I'm wrong, and I please correct me when I get it wrong. But from what I'm understanding, what I'm seeing, these are the things that stick out the most.
Yeah.
Right. And you're right. I wasn't too fond of Valerie Jarrett, so I'm still learning that about some of these characters. But I know the main players already, and I know the plan.
And that whole Chicago group, the black the writer of The Snake was a member of the Communist Party, as was Valerie Jarrett's father-in-law, and he.
So he was really paying it back.
Yeah. What's that?
I said he was really paying it back.
Yeah, yeah. And he basically said, the writer of The Snake said, I realized I was too black to be red. And he left the Communist Party, but this was after, all of this was done. So this is all pointing to Chicago, like the Chicago mafia that has controlled the elections in Illinois for a very, very long time, since Richard Daley days, which goes back into the 60s and 70s.
So then so usually when I put an arrow on something, for the most part, this is like a go research type of, I guess I should explain to the people why I use certain things in here. If I'm boxing it and underlining it, they kind of go hand in hand if I do one or the other after the other, I guess. When I put the arrows, these are like, man, I didn't know this, I need to go research it type thing. And I'm looking at it. But also you should be looking at it too, because if I have questions, you should have questions. And typically 9 times out of 10, it's a question. So, so you have, who is Mayor Richard Daley? Who is Mayor Rahm Emanuel? Hussein should be very nervous. Brennan should be very nervous. Kerry should be very nervous. Merkel should be very nervous, right? And then it says, who operates the planes? What shadow agency directed operations? I wonder who that was.
C_A.
Don't say it. Even that can get flagged. Then you go over to the next bit of that same drop. I underlined, why wasn't the money simply wire transferred? U.S. had authority to open bank-to-bank transfers. How do you prevent financial T-logs? So he's asking, why didn't they do that? Because they knew that the United States would have seen that and stopped it immediately. This is where you get those, if I'm not mistaken, bags of cash that people like to talk about a lot of times.
Right.
That's under the table. That's not taxed. That's not seen by the government. That's not seen by a computer. That's not seen by extra hands. That's not seen by people you don't want to see it. You can deliver it directly to the consumer, if you will. Where did the cash originate from? We know it came from Al-Walid, right? So House of Saudi. Why wasn't Congress notified? Well, they couldn't have been notified because it was bags of cash.
Yeah.
Who did the money go to? That I don't know.
Iran.
It was to who?
Well, it was, Iran and North Korea.
For Harvard?
Well,
or was it funneled through Harvard?
This was the money that Barack Obama sent to Iran, and this was on planes. And
this is part of the deal.
Follow all the planes right here.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. But they went to help North Korea. The uranium and the money went to Iran and North Korea for both the uranium one. The uranium went there, and the money went there for them to be able to turn them into nukes in order to create a sum of all fears situation.
Which is why he was testing his longevity so much, because he was trying to get that down at the same time that they were trying to figure out how to make the nukes themselves.
Yeah.
He was doing that. I remember reading about that. He was doing it side by side. He's trying to, because sometimes you'll notice they'll put most of their energy into one spot to get something going. They actually were literally doing everything side by side, which, and in honest terms, it was impressive to watch.
It wasn't what?
I said it was impressive to watch because they were launching them like very, very frequently, as much as Elon launches stuff now, and they were getting after it.
You mean North Korea?
Yes, North Korea.
Yeah, right before he collapsed the mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, Rocket Man.
And then obviously
my button's bigger than yours.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, dude. And remember all the libs, dude. I was still in California, and all the libs were like, he can reach California with those nukes. Trump's going to get us in a nuclear war with North Korea.
Where was it? Wait, where was that war at?
Yeah, exactly. What happened? What happened?
And then at the very bottom of that post, I underscored nothing to see here and put the arrow next to do you believe in coincidences, because obviously we know that there are no such thing. And I proved that with the previous decode, which blew my mind because I had no idea who gave the go order. And I just took my time and I researched every avenue. And then on 3663, which is a mirrored post, and it hit some of the markers. Actually, it hit most of the markers. It says, corrupt, think Harvard, think tax break, think political career, corrupt. Drain the swamp, right? Because if we know that he was paid for, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we know that he was, I think I put that Daily Caller, I don't know if I looked at that, if I put that link in the post down below or not. But if you look at how these drops are pretty much painting the picture that someone from someone from Saudi, right, and Iran came together. Everyone came together to fund all of Obama's college, and there was money from China that came through it too, that they got funding from. So it's weird that we're seeing all these countries
This
fund
is the
these
Daily
kids'
Caller,
education.
by the way. This is the Daily Caller piece.
Oh, you have it up?
This ought to be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is talking about being
Even so,
funds.
I shouldn't have done it. I am not a person of color. I am not a citizen of a tribe. And I have apologized for confusion I've caused on tribal citizenship,
you're not.
tribal sovereignty, and for any harm that I've caused. But
Oh
Wow.
my God. Is
Hey,
that not
hey.
is that not a good show or what?
By the way, what I love about this, okay, she's in a fucking bowling alley. There's about
Yes.
5 people there. Okay. All right. And
She's
she's
on one end. They said take your ass to the other end. Don't do that shit over here.
yeah. There's like, and by the way, it looks like she's wearing bowling shoes. And she, you'd want to say, Elizabeth, stay in your lane, but she keeps jumping over to the other lane.
I shouldn't have done
Oh,
it.
jeez.
I
She's-
am not a person
she's a white
of
person,
color. I am not a
right?
citizen of a
And here she
tribe.
goes. Now
And I
she's
have
an Indian.
apologized.
Okay.
She
there you
said,
go.
I am not a citizen of I'm not a person of color. No shit, Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Ah.
She's at the school for the blind, I guess. She's trying to tell them that she's not a woman of color because they clearly cannot see that for themselves. So that was the Q drop link to the Daily Caller, which, by the way, we got to go to 104. You see this here? Right? Whenever there's an ID, a 0 ID, I always go to the blue link, and it's always gold. And sometimes we drop the 0, sometimes we do not. But 104, now is the time to pray. We're operational. God bless the United States of America. And then, of course, 14 takes us to the Durham and the first American Revolution, right here.
I love that post.
Yeah, and we go to military intelligence.
Yeah, it starts right off. It starts
Military.
right off.
Boom. Was Trump asked to run for president by why? By who? Was HRC next in line? This goes right along that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right along your dive, right? Why is Antifa allowed to operate? What happens if Soros, the Muslim Brotherhood? We were just with Valerie Jarrett.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Mueller's background, Marine, right? Yeah. How is POTUS always 5 steps ahead? Who is helping POTUS? And how about Bill Maher?
Oh yeah, I heard it earlier.
Calling out Q today, bro.
What a dismal mistake.
Oh, we already went to like his post with Kid Love Productions, and I didn't even go to the Red Shoe Club.
You don't need to.
Yeah. Dude, this is a great dive, bro. This is really
well. There's one more. There's 3 total posts in this, right? Because I had to cut everything in half. And
this one here.
Yeah, on the Harvard one. So you go down. There should be a third post
right here.
It says 38.96, which is 3 cuts, and then 47.50. This is the China one. Okay, 38.96 is about China. And what you'll notice is that it's talking about, there's a little excerpt from the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus as an emerging and re-emerging infection. I'm just going to read what's highlighted because it's
so this is all right. So we jumped over 38.42.
Oh, did we skip that one?
Okay.
Oh, yep. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
About that one. Yeah, sorry. So 38.42. Why is China, Qatar donating vast sums of money to our education system going to Harvard? these are links that talk about money going into Harvard. Is it really that hard to believe foreign actors are able to bribe those in key positions within the U.S. to betray their country? The answer is yes. Or no, it's not hard. It's not hard to, but yes, that is happening. And we saw it happen with Obama because his entire freaking, what's it called, was paid for. And then you have this, what's going on, vast sums of money, China and Qatar into the education system is leading up to what happens in the COVID. So this is all linked to that as well. And then you go to 3896 for boom, we're in COVID.
Yeah.
So in 3896, it reads in the highlighted, the presence of a large reservoir of of SARS-CoV-like viruses in horseshoe butts, or in horseshoe, I can't read that.
Bats.
Bats, sorry, in horseshoe
Bats.
bats.
They blamed it on the bats.
That's what I said, butts. Together with the culture of eating exotic mammals in southern China, is a time, what's that word? I can't read that. Borscht?
Bomb. Time bomb.
Oh, time bomb. Yeah, it's all fuzzy on my phone. My eyes ain't working right now.
Yeah, it's fuzzy here, but it's a little bigger, so I have an advantage.
There you go. Time bomb. Yes, it's a ticking time bomb, right?
And I'm younger. My eyes are better.
Then it says the China virus. Well, you know, it's funny. I'll tell you a quick story before I continue. Yeah. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I went to go see the doc to do my VA paperwork, and I was 27 when I got out. I was 27, because I hadn't turned quite 28 yet. That came 6 months later. And I get out and I go, the doc goes, oh, by the way, I just want to let you know, Sergeant Feature, like you took care of yourself real well, your organs, everything, your tissues, like that of a 26-year-old man. I'm like, cool. I de-aged a year. Sweet. He goes, but your skeletal system, brother, it's like 42. I was like, 42, brother, you just gave me like 20 years. What are you talking about? Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, your skeletal system is screwed, man. And that was, that was almost 10 years ago. So imagine, I'm probably 60 now. So my eyes are probably, yeah.
And what caused that?
So I have no cartilage in my right knee. I have no prepatella in my other knee. I have a crack right through one of my knees. I have I have a bad right ankle. I have a bad right wrist. I have a torn ligament in my right shoulder. I herniated L5, S1, L4, thoracic 6 or 7, and C7. Like, I'm all kinds of messed up. Plus, I got TBI, PTSD. Like, the list goes on. It doesn't matter. I'm totally giving myself a HIPAA violation. But yes, I am.
Sarge, you're saying that shit like you're a one of those guys at the auction. You're an auctioneer.
Yeah, right. That's what it sounds like.
You rattle through that stuff like shit.
But I have to fight the VA all the time. They're like, okay, so what's wrong with you? Brother, we just had this conversation last week when I called, or the last time I was here, I gave you this. Why do I have to keep repeating myself?
Yeah, read my fucking file.
Exactly. That's what I started saying the last 6 months. I stopped going to the VA. I'm like, you guys already gave me 100%. We already discussed I'm not taking any more pharmaceuticals. So realistically, unless I'm bleeding, you're going to provide health to me. So I don't bother them much. I don't call them for anything. So
good.
But so it says the China virus, right? Yeah, so I'm getting old, brother. I'm probably as old as you are time-wise. My body is, anyways. The China virus, worth remembering, right? And then there's all these YouTube videos. And then it says, unbeknownst to Harvard University, beginning in 2011, Liebert became a strong scientist at Wuhan University of Technology in China and was a contractual participant. Try that one more time. And was a contractual participant in China's 1,000 talent plan from in or about 2012 to 2017. Right? What was the whole point of COVID? It was to end POTUS's rallies. It was to end POTUS's economic gains. It was to end POTUS's unemployment gains. And it was to end everything underneath POTUS.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of it, right? And then it was supposed to weaken prior to the election. Why? So that, there could be some negotiations. China could, get Biden in there as VP or as possible president, shelter Biden public appearances, shelter Biden debates, push new revised presidential plan for 2020, vote by mail, unsecured. All this shit was what was literally getting thrown in our face.
Yeah.
Every single bit of that happened. Was it mathematical probability this occurs? The time bomb explodes at the exact point in time that allows for maximum damage above prior to presidential election? Yeah. Outside of standard deviation? Oh, most definitely. Who benefits the most? The fucking left. Excuse my French. Mueller failed. Go on to the next one. If I don't know if you're on the drop or not, or on there, but it says
Yeah, I'm
Mueller failed. Impeachment failed. Duh. Why was it critically important to the impeachment be rushed in the House? Mainstream media, Democratic Party, Hollywood narratives all failed. The coup failed. It was very obvious to me. I'm like, whoa, they're trying to impeach my man over a phone call? What? Are you serious right now? And he's like, it was a totally perfect phone call. I was like, I'll decide that. And I remember you released it. I'm like, that was a
Yep.
perfect phone call.
And she rushed it through the House and then sat on it for weeks until the first COVID case in the U.S.
I'll have to find it and send it to you. You can look at it later. It's kind of hard to find on my page, but I did a post way back about Susan Rice whenever she's being interviewed, and she's like, "Yeah, they did come to me, and they said that they came to me and asked me to open an investigation on the sitting president, but I told them I couldn't ask to come from the FISA courts." And I'm like, "Oh, really, Susan Rice? You really said you got to call out to good old Loretta Lynch, huh? Is that right?" Oh, and now we have, what do we have? We have the dossier now. What? Oh, man. So all that shit happened and it all failed, right? The coup failed. Democratic Party leading nominee established Super T prior to lockdown, right? Takeover, Sanders elimination, Biden front, right? So Sanders got eliminated and Biden became the front runner. Occam's razor simply states that of any given set of explanations for an event occurring, the simplest one is most likely the correct one.
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And we watched it happen play by play.
Yep. I covered it play by play on the show. We were covering it like she ran over the things to the Senate. Like I went over as soon as it dropped, bro, because as soon as it dropped, I was like, this is why they're doing it. They're going to take Trump out. They have to, when we went through every little step. And that was in January of, what was that, 2020? Yeah, January 2020.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was. I think it might have been February. It might have been just right when he got past that year mark, because it was the State of the Union first, wasn't it? Or no, that's usually in February.
It was January. I think she walked the impeachment over January 15th or 16th.
Yeah, we should have gave her. Everybody should have said good luck.
and by the way, speaking of walking over the impeachment, he basically he called her out big time today for making that trade on Visa.
Oh, really? What did he? I haven't looked at anything today. I've been with the kids.
Let me pull it up.
Well, real quick.
Let's finish your dive.
Yeah, there's just a little bit left. There's just a little bit left here. It says, who paid Hussein's Harvard law degree? Now we're talking about where did the money come again, right? Different factions of foreign primary control, right? Different factions of foreign primary control. The primary control is the Muslim Brotherhood. How many factions are under the Muslim Brotherhood?
Yeah.
Hundreds, right? Who paid Hussein's Harvard law degree? Now we're pointing back at al-Walid bin Talal.
Yes.
So if people haven't figured this out, and I'm not saying that anything about the views, but I'm saying overall, people haven't figured out that Obama was definitely taught to be exactly who he was supposed to be.
Oh yeah, he was absolutely a Manchurian candidate.
1,117%, brother.
Yeah, he was a Saudi Arabian candidate.
Yep. And then at the very bottom, it says U.S. taxpayers funding the destruction of America. Absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, what this was 2020. How many years before Doge? What happens to U.S. taxpayer funds transferred overseas under guise of aid, military, climate, etc.?
Yep.
U.S. taxpayers funding the destruction of America.
Yep.
Great dive, Sarge. That's fantastic, man. I'm gonna, folks. I'm gonna share this on my timeline now.
But that other one, that Zero Delta from Obama, that one's way more important to me.
Yeah.
When I found that out, I was like, has anybody ever? And I asked Grok, I asked ChatGPT, I said, did anybody ever decode this and find this? And there are no reported. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah,
Nobody ever went to go find his post if he posted that. I don't believe it. I cannot be the only one.
Yeah, this is huge. I wonder. I got to go back. To. I'll tell you what.
Real quick, I'm talking with Doc on here on X. I'll give you a little quick update. I posted earlier today, while you're doing that, I posted today a list of all of Abbott's endorsements. And there's so many on there. It's retarded. And literally Doc comments and says, I sure as hell pray he doesn't endorse me. You don't want that
great.
kiss of death, brother.
That's fantastic. Yeah, great dive. I just shared that on the timeline. Please check that out and post it, repost it. And I want to do this one too. I'll wait a few minutes and I'll repost that. But let me take you to President Trump on Pelosi today, and then I'm also going to take you. Here we go. No, not yet. Here we go. This is from Derek Evans here.
And Nancy Pelosi has a little problem because her husband sold their Visa stock. They had a lot of Visa stock one day before Visa was announced that Visa is being sued by the Department of Justice. Think of that. Nancy Pelosi sold vast amounts of Visa stock one day before the big lawsuit that we all read about a few days ago was brought against Visa. You think it was luck? I don't think. She should be prosecuted. Nancy Pelosi should be prosecuted for that. And she should also be prosecuted for J6 because she turned down 10,000 or any number she wanted, soldiers or National Guard. And I hope you all read John Solomon and what John Solomon wrote 2 days.
He admitted it to it too on the tunnels.
If you read it, you'd see that Donald Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. It's a scam. It's a scam.
Amen.
So now check this out. Now, Sarge, have you ever tapped into Ingersoll Lockwood?
I have just found him recently in the last couple of weeks. I have not seen too much. I heard you talk about him all the time.
Okay.
I bumped into him on TikTok only because that's where I make my videos. I don't spend any time on there, so therefore I don't really look at his account, but I should.
So it's a website. The one that is legitimate is the actual website.
Oh.
It's Ingersoll Lockwood. It's 3 L's .com. And when you go on here, and it's all about Space Force. U.S. Space Force is hiring. One of the first things they say on here is, oh, they're not saying it anymore.
Yeah, I like how they made it very apparent to say we have not launched any NFTs or crypto tokens.
Yeah, it used to say we do not adhere to QAnon or anything like that. I can't remember exactly how it was worded, right? But you see this little rabbit on the 250 mark here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to click on that and look where it takes us.
Oh.
1/6/2021, Nancy Pelosi and the J6.
Look at that idiot on the far left.
Oh, fucking
And then
rat.
that idiot on the far right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, rat
And-
skin.
And this was this was the criminal enterprise. The J6 Select Committee, just the criminal enterprise to try to take us all down. And this is new. I think this is today, by the way. Folks, correct me if I'm wrong, but this rabbit on the 250, I think, was either today or yesterday, because I didn't check it yesterday. But so this is the website, and let me show you something real quick. This is key, okay? I'm going to go up here. Okay, we're back to the main page. And you're going to love this website, dude. You're going to fall in love with this. I did the wrong thing. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to go up to dark mode. Okay, I'm going to click on dark mode. Look at everything that pops up. See all these letters?
Oh, look at that.
These are all links. Okay. These are all links. Everything like that with the link. Now, remember, there was nothing. I'm going to take it off dark mode. There's nothing under the wraps.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So they've got hidden links in here. And I'll take you to one of my favorite. Let's see. Is it this one? Or is it this? Why China is building a thorium molten salt reactor?
We don't have Sir Oliver here.
Yeah,
They're building a what?
Exactly. This is one of the links. Thorium, thorium that we saw on the deck clock. This is more on thorium. That's going to be big, dude. I think thorium is going to be used for all of the AI. All the AI plants they're building, I think they're going to run on thorium. And they've been dropping this stuff for quite some time.
I wonder if
And
it's going to.
here's my
its
favorite.
value. Is there any value in it on any stock markets right now?
That's a good question. I've never really checked that out, but that's worth looking into. That's absolutely worth looking into. So this is all of the sealed indictments.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Central District of California,
Those are
Illinois, and it tells you initial machine count, it's got all the links, the cases filed, sealed, the unsealed, how many have been unsealed.
Does this update when it unseals?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Can you send that link to my DM directly?
Yes. Yeah.
I need to put that on my
Yeah.
back.
You're going to, I'm telling you, you're going to be like, you're going to be pissed off at me because you're going to lose about 5 days of your life. Okay?
Probably. Oh, man.
But
put a rabbit hole there.
5 days is being generous. Okay. I'll tell you that right now. But my audience, I've been covering Ingersoll Lockwood for probably, I don't know, 6 years, maybe 5 years.
Does it have specific names in that?
No, because they're sealed.
Well, no, when they
And
come unsealed, does
the
it put
unsealed? The unsealed is right here. So, like, you can pull up here's an example: USA versus Peterson, USA versus Cornell, Butler, Thiesfield, Moore. So yes, when they become unsealed, you can see them. And so that's over here, the source file link.
That's all I need to know. You can proceed. Oh,
Okay.
That's all I need to know. For now.
Right over here, source file links. So, but great question. Yes. Okay. So back to Trump's comment on Pelosi and also this visa thing and this coming out, and then that J6 link from Ingersoll Lockwood. Oh, by the way, dude, I'll send you some of my shows where the predictions that were made that I decoded out of Ingersoll Lockwood were spot on.
There you go.
To the day. to the day. Elon Musk trying to pierce the firmament to the day. The WHO mentioning disease X at the at Davos to the day. The disease X, something big happening to the day. March 31st was when the bird flu transferred from a pig to human, like the coronavirus transferred from bat to human. That was the story, right?
Sorry, it makes me
Dude.
laugh every time I hear that.
And this was always, it was all because of Ingersoll Lockwood. Oh, and the music, bro. Oh, you're going to love the music.
Has it got some good tunes in there?
Oh, they got songs that are great songs.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like AI written songs?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Or kind of.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but like they're songs
Yeah.
about the stuff, about what's going on.
Yeah. Like, here's one.
These midterms are absolutely critical. If Americans want strength, prosperity,
Not
and a bright
song,
future,
but
we must
an
vote
audio.
in massive numbers. These midterms decide whether we choose America's golden age or let out of touch.
So it's got some POTUS stuff. It's got, here's one. I'm excited to introduce it.
Oh, the cobblestones whisper a tale so old of a city tarnished, its heart grown cold. Through the alleys where shadows creep, we'll wake the town from its restless sleep. The brass will blare, the drums will roll to sweep the grime from its weary soul. Draining the swamp, clearing the way, bringing back the golden age today. No more crime, no more fear. The dawn of Washington's finest
Panic in DC.
So that's an example, and there's different kinds of music, but you'll find them on the links, and it'll be like, I don't know, like you'll be like in a kind of a exit room or something, where you're just figuring shit out, and it's pretty cool.
Maybe I'll play some of that music and I'll put some of my decodes in a video for fun. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would absolutely
Have that play in the background.
Yeah, people would dig that as well. My moderator Moonbeam is saying maybe Savannah Guthrie's mother is in witness protection, and
yeah, maybe
that makes sense. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Have you seen?
He would have to be if
what's that?
He would have to be if the daughter is truly dead.
If the daughter's what?
I said if the daughter is truly dead, then she would be in witness protection.
Well, it's the mother that's missing. The daughter is Savannah Guthrie.
Didn't she? Who was the one that passed away? That was big. I can't remember the name of the one that passed away. That was real big in this investigation. They were like, "Oh, well, she's gone now." There's so many names. I forget half this stuff.
Well, shit. If you're talking about the Clintons, we're going to be here a while trying to figure out who that one was.
No. The main one for Epstein, not Ray Chandler.
Maxwell?
No, not Maxwell. There was a victim that apparently passed away.
Oh, Virginia Giuffre. Yeah.
Giuffre. There you go.
Yeah. I hope she's in witness protection, bro.
Yeah, I think she is.
I
thought
hope
that's
to hell, because
I get these names mixed up.
That would be some bullshit if she was.
She just magically disappeared that day too. Not disappeared, but just like, oh, she died. What? Excuse me.
Yeah, and shortly after she said, I'm not suicidal, right? So it's like, you got to be kidding me. So did you see Melania?
I have not yet. I don't do theaters, man. It's kind of a PTSD thing for me. I'm waiting to see where I can find it online.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Amazon.
So watch it.
So two friends of mine have seen it, and they were looking for decodes. And first of all, she said, "Save your time, save your money, because it is the most boring movie I've ever seen in my life." Right? And so she said it's just about her like fitting, doing a fitting for the inauguration. So, so at any rate, what I wanted to bring up was one of the things she picked up is the release of Melania, right? Was on the day they released the Epstein files.
I thought they. Oh yeah, it was. They did it. Yeah, they released it at, and wasn't it at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that?
It was
2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. It was early, I think.
Hold
Is what
on
I
one
read.
second. Let me see if I can pull this over here. Yeah. It was but it was on the day. And by the way, this was from, let me share this here. This is from Frankie Stokes and her dress. It was all about her dress, the Zorro dress.
That was the birthing ranch, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is called the Zorro Ranch, and this was Epstein's ranch in New Mexico. I've done a lot of stuff on this, and it had an airstrip, helicopter pad, including, according to some claims, a baby production facility. He legally, through campaign donations, paid off local sheriff and wide range of New Mexico politicians and operated there with total impunity. And so this is Zorro Ranch. So in the movie, the Melania movie, the major comms so far that I've picked up were Brett Ratner's the director. He's in the Epstein files.
Right.
So maybe pointing him out. The Zorro dress, the Z, the black Z on the white dress.
Correct.
Which, by the way, all those ladies, Trump reposted all those
5
ladies
on each
wearing
side.
that dress. What's that?
There was 5 on each side.
Yes. Yeah. And then the V for Vendetta outfit with the hat, right? So a great pickup from my friend on that, just the Zorro dress and all that. Not a lot of comms beyond that, just a lot of boredom.
That and the red folder, the red folder presented as a gift.
Thank you.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that
I
red
haven't seen it, I
folder.
just saw that.
You remember when that red folder turned to green folder? When
I
that guy
don't.
was walking out of 10
No, I
Downing?
didn't see it. I just saw that from the trailer. I saw the red folder from the trailer. Because
Oh,
that was
okay.
the only comm they gave away from the movie was the red folder, which how they did that in that what it looked like for me in the trailer, that it was presented as a gift. It means that it was information that was given to them.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about in reference to the red folder. Plus, there's a lot of talks that it's got all the executive orders ready to be signed to, end it all, whatever it is.
Do you remember this?
Oh, I hate that guy.
Just color red to green, right on camera.
So he's walking out, I believe this is 10 Downing.
Yeah, that was right out of 10 Downing.
Yeah. This is like live news coverage.
That guy's a crook.
Who is that?
That should be the current prime minister. Right? No. He's the I forget what the heck he is. He's like their geez. Let me go look it up. I don't even want to be any kind of wrong.
But this was it turned from red to green. This was in what was the date on this? It's 4 years ago.
What does it say? His name in there? I need his damn name. I can't remember who that is.
Diplomat. I don't think we ever got his name.
I've seen him speaking before. I've seen the back of that side of that head before. I can't know who he is.
The diplomat in London who's folder turned red to green. Let me see if Grok's got anything for me. Okay. Rishi Sunak, who's UK's Chancellor of the Exchequer Finance Minister at the time and later became Prime Minister.
Yeah, isn't he the current prime? Am I not tripping? I thought he was the current Prime Minister. No, that's Starmer, isn't it?
Starmer, yeah.
Yeah, Starmer. Oh, he was the interim one before Starmer, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Right. That's who he is. That's who he was. He was the acting.
Supposedly, it was a pre-recorded Sky News segment, and a former Sky News journalist confirmed she added the color switch as a deliberate visual effect to emphasize the need for a green budget.
Good cover.
Yeah, right.
Right. Good cover.
So, yeah, but dude, you took us on a great ride tonight. Thank you, man, for that.
Oh, no worries. Appreciate it. I was just
great
sitting here at my kid's mom's house watching them. You know, I'm fixing to go home, so I'm not doing anything else. So I figure I might as well come on and spend some time with you, my brother.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I'll let you know if I'm going to do a show tomorrow night. I've got to figure that out, folks. So I might not be on with you tomorrow night, but I'm going to try to get at least one night in this weekend. So if it's not tomorrow night, it might be Saturday night.
Yeah, let's do Saturday night.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I need to get some more dirt on Abbott and the cronies.
Cool. Let me and I'll probably
just let me know. It's no big deal.
Yeah, we'll do. Well, thank you, brother, for coming on.
Absolutely.
And I'll wrap things up here with the crew here. Guys, check out Sarge on X, and he is at right here at Sergeant JBP. Sergeant JBP.
And then first name is James. My first name is the second initial, but I don't ever talk about that name. That name doesn't exist.
Okay.
But that's the first name. Anyways, I love you, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
too,
Have
man.
a good one. God bless you, and God bless everybody in the chats. Y'all been amazing, and I'll see you on the next one, brother.
Sounds good. Much thanks for jumping on, man. Have
Very
a good
welcome.
night.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. Be well. See ya. All right, guys. What a dive, huh? Is that cool or what? Thanks, guys, for stepping up with the name on Rishi Sunak. Well done. Here's our boy, by the way. Come here. Can you come up? Oh, there we go. There's Jasper. I'm gonna have to go spend some time with him after we wrap up here tonight, because he's been a very good boy tonight. Yes, he's been a very good boy. Yeah. You doing okay? You saying hi to everybody? Huh? You saying hi? What do you think? Huh? What do you think? You got anything to tell me? What do you think about the show? Has it been a good show? You been enjoying it? Yeah, my friends, we've got into 3 hours. So we'll please, if you've donated, we'll do a wheel spin this weekend. If you want to get on the wheel for this weekend for a free year, which is $170 to Snedhead's soon to be a significant position on the social media platform that is going to be sharing 25% of its revenue with the everybody that's posting and sharing it out and bringing people on board. So please get on over to snedheads.com and you can support us over there at $17 a month, or you can do $170 for the year. But if you get your name on the wheel with a donation, which we will do either tomorrow or Saturday night, most likely Saturday night, then please donate on Zelle, Give, Send, Go, or go to the direct link that our dear Moonbeam will be putting in the chat here in a moment, and I will add to that as well. and that is directly to Stripe. You can use credit card. Please, folks, if you're not supporting this podcast, if you're not supporting my work, please support the work of those who are bringing you really great content. It is absolutely key for the continued rage against the machine, the real rage against the machine, not the fake rock and roll band that turned on us like so many did during COVID and through this incredible journey, this incredible revolution that we've been a part of. So I ask for your support to keep the lights on. I must announce also that I will be moving from my current home to be a little bit more affordable, and but it's still a great situation. But I definitely it's just too much every month to go through the stress of pulling together rent and trying to stay afloat in this revolution, when I know many of you, and the reason why I give this away is because many of you can't afford to give to people like me. And so I do this because you need this information and you are entitled to this information just as much as anybody on this earth. And so I want to make sure that you have that, and many stand up and donate, and I'm grateful for you all who do so to keep me moving forward. But I'm definitely going to be lowering my overhead, and I'm going to be missing my view, missing this studio. But it'll be good digs. I'll have temporary digs for a couple months probably, and then permanent digs for after that. And so I'll be also, I might have a limited schedule during that time. I'll try to come to you as much as possible, but I'll have to be doing quite a bit of packing and moving, and and please give the thumbs up. And if you're not able to donate, the one thing you can do is thumbs up, share, and tag some influencers that could really benefit from a fantastic show that I think we just had. I think you would agree that this is great. Sarge calls this one of the top shows on the internet. That's why he watches. That's why he comes on. Spiritual Street Fighter. That's why she lets me, do this incredible, use this incredible artwork that she puts together daily. I mean, just incredible stuff that she's dropping like this. Sir Oliver comes on. There's a lot of people that follow me that may not, you may not have heard of, but are legitimate anons and very significant in the movement. And I think it's because the content of my character of this show, this audience is fantastic, very wide awake, all of you. Great questions, great comments, great support. I'm blessed to be here with you all. Thank you, Sarge. Appreciate that. Thank you, Tracy. Good to see you, my dear. So thank you, Dee. Yep, new home and prayers for the new digs. Appreciate that. So it'll be good. It'll be it's a little sad, but it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter. So thanks to Spiritual Street Fighter for that awesome Pepe in the hammock there. So my friends, what a dive. Thank you all. Thank you all. This is really amazing. Like what's happening here, folks, it's just so incredible. And the fact that you and I are walking this journey together through this is nothing less than a revolution. I can't stress that enough. This is a revolution, and there has been no revolution. This will remain the same for the time being, my friends, probably for quite some time. And so you can still send me stuff here, and I will receive it. But just in terms of all the revolutions, there's never been one like this, and I'm talking about world over. There's never been one like this, because this revolution is against evil. It's against Satan. It's against crimes against the most innocent of us all, or the children. And we are going to see justice on this earth like we have never seen before. And I can't even tell you, this long for me, 18 years of being awake. Some of you many more than that, some of you not as much, but we've come a long way in this journey, in this revolution, and it has been not easy for all of us. And that's the way I believe it was meant to be, because we need to have as much pain from this revolution so that we make sure that we never come back here again, that we never allow ourselves to, fall asleep at the wheel and allow the most evil among us to control this realm. My friends, I'll be in touch on Snedheads, on X, and on Telegram as to the plans for the weekend, but for sure look out for me for Saturday, I'm thinking. And because I want to get one weekend in with you, because I was off the last 2 nights. But much love to you all. Thank you for the great comments. Thank you for those who support this. Thank you for Moonbeam and Quasi Pete for moderating and doing a fantastic job taking care of our chat and keeping it real and keeping it beautiful and peaceful. And I thought about that, Hunter. Maybe do some walk and talks during some of that time, doing shorter clips as well. But I'm definitely going to be in touch with you throughout. So I appreciate all the love and the support. It's there's a sadness, but there's that's the way God planned it for this whole revolution. I agree. All right, my friends, I'll see you soon. And wow, unbelievable. This is incredible. And I am so honored to be your tour guide through some of it. So, all right, much love, my friends, and be well. And I'll see you. Good night.